First referee, Miss Joy De Imus. Second referee, Mr. Ryan Corpus. Let's call on our starting lineup from our GERFLOR defenders. Let's begin with jersey number 1, Janine Navarro. At number 2, Marianne Esguera. Wearing jersey number 7, Ivy Perez. At number 12, Rania Musa. Wearing jersey number 20, Carmina Digal. And at number 25, Eliza Bertolano. Starting libero is number 6, Julia Angeles. Head coach, Mr. Edgar Baroga. Presenting our AKARI Chargers. We begin with jersey number 2, Trisha May Genesis. At number 8, Janelle Maraginot. Wearing jersey number 10, Princess Ezra Madrigal. At number 12, Lutgarda Malaluan. Number 16, Aliona Denise Santiago Manabat. And at number 17, Faith Janine Nisperos. Starting libero is number 1, Sheila Marie Pineda. Head coach, Mr. Jorge Souza de Brito. This match is under the supervision and regulation of the Games and Amusements Board.
Here are your starters for today's match, starting off with the GERFLOR defenders. You can see it on your screen. And start a new way to watch the PVL via the Filipinas Live app. Download and subscribe now for as low as 99 pesos per month. And now on your screens are the starters for the AKARI Chargers. Both teams fielding in different starters compared to their previous game, Mela. Strategic changes, perhaps, from both coaches?
That's right. Or siguro since, well, sila rin yung nasa bottom ng rankings, I think the coaches are also giving playing time to everyone to gain experience. Kasi after all, they're not in the semis contention anymore. The best way to really finish their tournament is for everyone to improve by getting more minutes. As we see, itong AKARI fielding in Malaluan as a starter, and maghihintay muna sa bench itong si Makaslang, who tallied 5 points in that game against Creamline. Meanwhile, here on the side of GERFLOR, we see Ivy Perez starting instead of Fen Emnas. Equally experienced players, pero kailangan yata ng height ngayon against AKARI.
Genesis will be starting off today's match with a serve. Reception by Bertolano. Attack. And that goes outside the point for the Chargers.
Itong si Bertolano clearly getting intimidated. Ang taas ng block reach nito ni Faith Nesperos.
Genesis.
Tisha Genesis also parang most of the time siya na talaga yung starter, and she's been performing well for AKARI.
In their previous match, he had 10 points against Creamline. Then a net touch is called on the Chargers. Game is tied at 1-all. Eliza Bertolano, your 4th best server so far in the conference, up for the GERFLOR defenders.
So far, both our points here in the first set coming off from errors.
Then drops it. Perez. Maraginot to Nisperos, cross-court check and score for AKARI.
Ganda ng habol sana ni Anes Guerra doon, but Faith Nisperos, you see the follow-through to really swipe it off the hands of her blockers. Very smart player indeed.
Ezra Madrigal now serving for AKARI, a middle blocker. Standing at 5'11", Ivy Perez, back set to Navarro, whose attack goes outside. 3-1 AKARI, but now let's listen in first to Rain Tixon for her report.
Regardless of the outcome today, Faith Nesperos is happy with her team's performance here in the PVL Invitational Conference. AKARI may be a young team with limited pro experience, but this team was able to push their veteran opponents to extended games. And on a personal note, Faith told me that the biggest lesson she learned was to take things with authority. She told me that it starts with AKARI taking charge of the end game, which she feels the team needs to work on. And on a personal note, she wants to learn how to shy away from being a leader despite being one of the youngest. And there's so many things to be excited about. And isa na dyan ang Pilipinas Live app, our newest streaming platform, which you can experience better if you download and subscribe now for as low as 99 pesos per month. Now back to you, Miguel and Mela.
Yeah, thank you for that report. Rain din over the blockers, but Perez was there. This will be a free ball for AKARI. Jaja, Tulot. Good defense from the defenders.
Still a good ball, the longest rally so far.
Degal sends this one over. Jaja, back row to Genesis. And that is inside for Trisha.
Genesis reaction after. Grabe naman yung rally na yun. And it's good to see everyone really moving inside the court. You see how fluid everyone on the side of AKARI and GERFLOR are as we go to a timeout in this early part of the first set.
With this one, I go like... Ibigay ninyo. Ha? Ipakan nyo na. Sige, saka na drop ball. Saka na drop ball. Pag-alanganin kayo. Ipakan nyo muna. Tapos saduhin nyo muna yung game nyo. Ha? Okay, go, go, go.
Ate, sa'yo na lang. Maganda pasa, maganda pasa. Tanaw! Defender! Defender! Tsagayin natin, malapit.
Coach Edgar Baroga calling a timeout as AKARI is on a 4-0 run to start off the first set. They lead 5-1. Ivy Perez on your screens. Together with Navarro.
Coach Edgar instructing the girls, upakan niyo muna. Dahil medyo napaparami yung kanilang mga cut shots and it's dug easily by AKARI. And what a good way for Anis Guerra to respond from that timeout. Oh, correct me, that's
Navarro.
Ito rin yung advantage kapag marami ng position na laro. I was actually teammates with Janine Navarro before. We were playing for Signal and she played all the positions and she even does running attack. So tingnan natin if she's still gonna perform those kinds of special plays.
There she goes with a spike again. Pineda, underhand set to Nesperos.
Well, kanina sabi natin puro cut shot dito sa GERFLOR. Ito naman, power spike pero cut papuntang kanan and Faith Nesperos always having that advantage. Just look at that spike reach.
Dindin Manabat now serving for the Chargers, who's in control of the game so far, 6-2. Perez to Musa.
Well, you know what? GERFLOR joining the PVL only gives the spotlight back on these comebacking players. Talking about Rania Musa, former finals MVP from the NCAA. Well, we knew her best from their historic run, giving CSB their first ever championship.
Maraginot to Malaluan. And that is in.
Labanan ng middles ang nangyayari dito so far. And great effort also from the setters to really activate as much players. Nakita rin natin si Maraginot nag-set na ng back row kanina as well as Perez. So really involving everyone as much as possible is the key here in the pros, not just in this game.
And both of these teams have very talented wing spikers. Activating your middles will really open up the attack line for these players such as Genesis, Bertolano, as her attack goes outside.
Seemed like that set was a bit too low for Trisha Genesis. Super opposite setting itong ginawa ni Maraginot. Medyo hindi umabot at mababa. So Trisha Genesis clearly struggled from that last hit.
Degal now serving. She only played one set in their previous match, but she had 7 points. As Genesis is checked at the net.
And this is the benefit when you have Ivy Perez as a starting setter, especially when she's in the front line. A very capable scorer through her 1-2 attacks and even in her blocks.
Digal now serving. The lead is down to 2 for the Chargers. Nisperos with the reception. Manabat with the attack. Perez jows at the net. Goes to Musa again.
Rania Musa really taking advantage of that gap between the blockers. Bantay sarado na siya actually, but she managed to power through as she acknowledged itong si Luke Malaluan. Meron talagang delay sa kanyang pagtalon.
Short serve from Digal. Maragino at 1-2 play. Read well by Musa. Back row Nisperos. Ivy cannot chase that one. And with that attack, Akari will head into the first technical timeout with a 6-8 lead. Bingo Plus, the first live streaming bingo in the Philippines. That's Bingo Plus, the first live streaming bingo in the Philippines. So you can see on your screen, people in our crowd, Gaira Baroga together with Rachel Orvina on the sidelines for the Akari Chargers. Malaluan is up to serve. Michelle Cobb on your screens, back in action.
Her absence gave Danny the opportunity to play her initial playing position as a setter. Parang high school pa si Danny nung nakita ko siyang nagsiset. But that's what you want from your players, no, to be ready for anything, for any task.
And that Bertolano spike is too much to handle for Malaluan. It's 7-8.
Ito naman yung kagandahan kay Bertolano. Talagang she's picking up her game, no? During the first stretches kanina sa early rotation, hindi siya masyadong nakapuntos. Andun yung mga hesitations. But, you know, it seems like talagang she took time to reflect within the game at nakabawi agad. That was a very powerful hit from Alyssa Bertolano.
And Manabat of the blockers of GERFLOR gets the point for the Chargers.
This time, Manabat, not her strongest hit, but gonna be equally effective as it hit the hands of the blockers. 18 points from their last game, tied with Faith Nisperos, who has 3 points already right now.
Perez to the running Esguera. And there's a net touch violation, point for the defenders.
Looking at Coach Jorge to see if magbabalasa ba siya ng tao. Because we've seen a couple of errors from Trisha Genesis already. Kanina sa atake, ngayon naman sa net touch.
Ivy Perez now serving for GERFLOR. Targets Faith. Jaja with the set.
Whoa!
To Madrigal.
Madrigal, who scored 3 points against Creamline, but very impressive kasi kahit yung mga hindi niya napunto, she got a lot of block touches in that game. And this game naman against GERFLOR, babawi naman sa atake. And like I kept mentioning, no, whenever I cover itong Akari, their middles really need to step up. That's their Waterloo. And it's good to see their efforts to improve on that. And speaking of effort, Pineda almost bumping into us here in the panel just to keep that ball alive. But the point is still gonna go to GERFLOR.
Good effort there from Bang Pineda. Really not giving up on that play. Medyo napaatras ako ng konti doon, Mela. Akala ko sasaluhin natin si Bang. But that's a good service from Bertolano and a good set from Maraguinot. But it was defended by GERFLOR. Nisperos, cross-court, check. Genesis was there to cover. This will be a free ball for AKARI. Maraguinot is called for a violation.
Well, that dig was too tight for Maraguinot. And she's also a backline setter. So, nakita natin yung struggle. No? Parang yung Gia de Guzman lang yung nakakagawa niya na. Parang last game nakita natin yon. But it's really, you know, when our fans look at it, it seems easy. But, you know, coming from another side of the court, it's hard to balance also and to keep away from the net.
We're talking about momentum, court awareness. So there are really a lot of factors that come into play. But then, Dindin Manabat, the defense of the GERFLOR defenders was a non-factor in that spike.
Well, you said court sense. Itong si Dindin talaga. Alam kung saan padadaanin yung kanyang mga palo. She saw an opening down the line. And tansyadong-tansyado. Alam niya na masyadong naka-atras yung kanyang defender.
Ezra Madrigal now serving for AKARI. Targeting Bertolano. Esguerra with a quick attack. And that cross-court attack by Manabat goes wide. The game is now tied at 11, Mela.
Kanina malaki-laki to, no? And tumawag ng timeout itong si Coach Edgar Baroga. And since then, naging maganda na yung galaw ng kanyang mga players.
Esguerra now serving. Maraguinot setting Genesis from the back row, and she finds a hole in the middle.
Trisha Genesis finally making up for her errors earlier, and good for Maraguinot also to feed her from the pipe. And alam mo yung GERFLOR, they're also making such a big effort with their blocking. So we failed to mention kanina how they put up a 3-man block against Dindin Santiago Manabat. So you see the respect is there, the effort is there.
Perez, cross-court. Nisperos pushes, scores, and points at the birthday girl, Jaja Maraguinot.
You have to credit half that point to Bang Pineda. What a dig coming from that Mina Degal power hit. But look at Faith Nisperos. Her spike reach talaga. Ang hirap basahin, ang hirap pwestohan.
Dindin serving again, straight to the net this time.
Very low clearance for Manabat. So right now, si AKARI, they're actually moving well, but they are struggling to really keep a hold of the momentum that they built. As we see a double substitution from the side of GERFLOR, Emnas in, as well as itong si Marzan. And you know, one thing I remember about Coach Edgar is very fond of transitioning players into different positions. And si Marzan, alam nga natin, middle ito, no? But now is also gonna play opposite for GERFLOR.
Maraguinot to Nisperos, cross-court.
Alam mo, kailangan ipagtanong natin sa mga stats people natin to. Pero parang 100% ang spiking efficiency ni Faith kanina. Siguro narinig niya ng pregame. Bakit 8 lang ako sa spiking? Parang kaya niya yung #1 today. And sabi nga natin, she's picking up her game gradually here in the pros. And right now, 5 points already for Faith Nisperos.
Faith serving for AKARI. Good reception. Emnas will set this one up. Double quick play to Marzan.
And you know, Miguel, nabanggit ko kanina yung medyo nakakasanayan ni Coach Edgar talaga na pagpalit-palitan yung mga position, mga players niya para mas marami mga ganyang options. Kasi lagi natin yan nakikita sa highlights ng GERFLOR. Yung mga double quick plays nila, they do that when Navarro is in front, they do that when Marzan is in front. So mas nagiging versatile yung mga players niya.
And that's very important, especially with conferences like this where It's short, sunod-sunod yung games. Everyone really has to be able to step up and play their role regardless kung ano ipagawa sa kanila ng coach nila. As Trisha Genesis scores on that attack. Good save from Ravenna, leading to that point from Genesis.
Trisha Genesis getting some instructions from the sidelines. And ito naman yung kagandahan. No? Sabi natin si Bertolano kanina picking up her game. The same with Genesis. Already scored 2 points from attacks. Let's see if she gets a third. But that's gonna go out as Coach Jorge looks at the sideline. Checking from his co-coaches if he should cover a challenge.
It's the 1-point game now. Musa is back at the service line for GERFLOR. And that goes straight to the net. And with that service error, AKARI heads into the second technical timeout with a 60. .worldcup.basketball and support our national team who will be competing in the FIBA World Cup later on this year. Chiara Permentilla on your screens, together with Danny Ravenna. But now back to the game. It's Jaja Maraginot serving already with 3 excellent sets. AKARI has been targeting Eliza Bertolano in their service. Emnas, one-hand set. Din off the hands of Bertolano. Jaja to Trisha Genesis, who is checked by Marzan.
Another advantage for Coach Edgar, having very tall players in Marzan and Esguerra, able to close out that attack from Genesis. As we see Marciano in, the veteran Marciano replacing Trisha Genesis, who's been a bit inconsistent so far in this first set. Tingnan natin kung makakabawi siya mamaya, but you have to put the spotlight on Bang Pineda, who's been having a dig party against GERFLOR today. Grabe, ang daming mga halos open blocks na pinapalo ng malakas ng GERFLOR at nadedepensahan niya pa din.
Good serve from Ivy Perez over reception. And that's a point for AKARI. Lucky break there for the Chargers.
Well, we talked about Bang Pineda, an all-around player, throwback sa kanyang spiker days. But now, even as a libero, still managed to score from a reception. Accidental man, puntos pa din.
A point is a point, Mela. Combination play.
Look at Pineda go again. Marciano. Instant offense from Janine Marciano.
Take note, Mela, Marciano did not see action against the Creamline Cool Smashers in the previous game of AKARI, making her presence felt right away with that great back row attack.
Well, you know, Trisha Genesis, nabanggit nga natin, ang ganda ng nilalaro niya recently. But today, sort of struggling, and it's good for Marciano to show how ready she is anytime she's needed.
Faith is checked at the net.
Oh!
This will be a free ball.
Hindi aabot yung recovery na yon ng AKARI. good
net defense.
naaral din nila itong si Faith Nisperos dahil so far she's had 5 of 9 from her attacks as Eliza Bertolano serves up an ace, but AKARI Chargers coaching staff
This will be
will
our
challenge that call, that serve.
Yes, this will be our first challenge for the game, Mela. And let's see what the footage will tell us about that service from Bertolano. The challenge system here in the PVL proving to be very crucial in determining the outcome of several games already. Let's see if the ball is in or out.
Oh, it still catches the line. So
Barely makes it in.
that is an ace for Eliza Bertolano, already her 3rd point in this game. She was the lone double-digit scorer against PLDT in their last game, almost winning in that 3rd set with her efforts. But today, so far, mas balanced on scoring. Navarro with 2 points, Marzan and Musa also with 2 points. Ooh. Medyo manggigigil naman to get another ace as that service becomes an error.
Yes, Ramadrigal now serving for AKARI. This is her serve, it's in. Perez will set this one up. Digal is dug. Dindin cross, Ivy was there. Navarro. Jaja to Faith, down the line.
Alam mo yung set na yon, medyo mababa na pasobra na sa kaliwa ni Faith. But the talented player that she is, kaya niya pa rin iiwas sa block at habulin yung pace ng set na yon. It's so good to see Faith Nisperos flourishing here in the pro ranks.
Yeah. And now Faith is right in front of us together with Dindin Santiago Manabat and Malaluan. And I must say, I did not expect Faith to be this tall.
Yeah. Parang ano nadidikit konti na lang, no?
Yes.
Kahit na ni Dindin, and always an advantage for her. But we know that not all tall players are, always good. Hindi
Yes.
siya matic factor eh. But Faith really just being an all-around player.
Speaking of,
Everything she touches today turns into gold as she scores her 7th point. And Coach Jorge will now have a double substitution. Cobb and Soyud in for Maraguinot and Manabat. And Soyud, alam naman natin, napakaganda rin ang pinapakita. She was actually the starter in that game against Creamline. But, ang dami rin talagang experiment stage pa kasi actually itong AKARI. They're a relatively new team. So what Coach Jorge is doing is really valid dahil nakikita din niya yung mga sparks from his players. Soyud scoring 18 points against Cherry Tigo. But in that last game against Creamline, ito namang si Dindin ang maganda yung galaw.
as Musa finally solves the Nisperos puzzle, blocking Faith at the net.
Well, Musa is also known for her blocking. Kanina nakita na natin yung atake niya. But look at that contact on the ball. There's really that acknowledgement na pag na-block mo si Faith, kailangan hindi na ma-recover because she will have the opportunity to attack again.
Good reception from Marciano. Good dig from Bertolano. This will be a free ball for AKARI. Cobb, Soyud, pushes it to the other side. Perez, 1-2, checked by Malaluan. Musa runs.
Look at Marciano crawl just to get to that ball, and Faith Nisperos is gonna end it for AKARI Chargers in that last rally.
It's 22-19 now as we watch the replay of that last attack from Faith.
Great effort from Michelle Cobb. Nagiging maganda na yung mga block touches nitong ni Musa. Kaya naman, she did an opposite set kung saan malayo yung hahabulin ni Musa.
And that forces Coach Edgar to call his second time out. It's 19-22 for Akari.
Dikit sa net, bahala na si IB. Kapag alanganin, kapag isa lang upakan mo, pagka dalawa, mag-drop ka.
Okay po.
Mag-run ka pare, ha? Run ka. Okay. Tapos, ready ka rito. Ha? Side out lang tayo, kailangan natin yan, ha? Okay, go, 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 go.
Defenders! Huwag na hayaan na! Tatulong niya!
3 points separating Akari and GERFLOR. Musa doing a great job at the net, defending the net against Akari. And over onto the other side of the court, it has been a Genesis and Faith Nesperos show. Michelle Cobb back on the court after a non-COVID related sickness that caused her to miss one game. Faith now serving for Akari. Still targeting Bertolano. And this time, it's Akari's turn to block the defenders at the net.
Well, kanina yung attempt ni Ellie Soyo on her attack that was mistimed. At dito naman siya babawi sa kanyang blockings, which she's also known for. We see Justin Dorog in for Carmina Degal. Si Dorog usually starting for the GERFLOR defenders, but now they need a lot more options in terms of attacks.
And this time, it's Akari now. Substituting Permentilla in the game for Faith Nesperos. Kiara also played well in their previous match against Creamline.
Faith Nesperos getting a bit of rest, and it takes me back to that feature earlier as we saw an ace from Kiara Permentilla. Instant impact right away from the bench. Going back to my point, no, yung feature natin kanina, yung heart-to-heart, where
Yes.
Erica Aga said kay Faith na make a share ka na sa burden. As we know, she's really used to carrying a team, a lot of load on her shoulders, sabi nga ni Agas. But now, her getting rest and, you know, sharing the load with her teammates, it must feel good for her.
And you know, one thing I noticed also in Faith's game is the amount of confidence that she has regained under the tutelage of Coach Jorge, Coach Ed Ortega, and the Akari Chargers. Marciano tries to save it, but unable to get to the ball. That over-reception leads to a point for the GERFLOR defenders.
GERFLOR defenders saving one set point. And so for the rallies in this game, they've been, you know, they've been long compared to other games. And that's how you know that these players are here to really win and learn from every game. As we see Carmina Degal back on the court for GERFLOR.
Degal looking for a target and serves it straight to Pineda. Cobb sets it to Soyud. And that Soyud attack ends the set in favor of the Akari Chargers, 25-20.
A lot of offensive options for Akari Chargers. As we take a look at this Soyud emphatic hit yet again. Ending things off in the first set. And giving the Akari Chargers an advantage over the GERFLOR defenders.
First set is 29 minutes with Akari coming up on top, 25-20. We'll be back for set number 2. New streaming experiences also await via the Filipinas Live app. Download and subscribe now for as low as 99 pesos per month. Here are the highlights from the recently concluded first set. Faith Esperos and the AKARI Chargers taking it 25-20 against GERFLOR.
Faith Esperos scoring 8 points in that first set. She's really capable of exceeding her previous output against Creamline in this last eliminations game today. And on the other side naman, itong si Bertolano and Musa scoring 3 points apiece. And despite GERFLOR losing that first set, we saw a lot of highlights also. They've had some good block touches. They've also had some running hits. But definitely overpowered by AKARI in that department. Pero doon naman sila nakabawi sa kanilang block, scoring 4 against 1 of the Chargers. And, you know, despite losing that first set, they also managed to minimize their errors compared to AKARI. But they have to do better in this second set. And let's see if Coach Edgar Baroga will stick to the same starters as we see some of the bench players warming up right now.
It was a close match to start the game. Once again, both of these teams looking for their first win here in the PVL Invitational Conference.
Esperos having a 57.14% attack efficiency in set 1 alone. Ganda talaga ng momentum na kanyang nabibuild. Meanwhile, on the side of GERFLOR, we are looking to see more of Liza Bertolano.
Liza Bertolano has been the target of the Chargers, trying to take her out of the offense of GERFLOR. But of course, Liza also one of our best receivers here in the conference, so it hasn't been a challenge for her so far.
For our new volleyball fans, no, kapag ganyan sinasabi, tina-target yung certain player, kahit na kilala silang magaling sa receive, it's not always a matter of serving an ace against them, but also, you know, exhausting them throughout the game para, yun nga, mabawasan yung kanilang attack efficiency, fatigue, hopefully to kick in from that certain player, especially if they're key players, just like what Creamline did to Faith Esperos. Pero parang di napagod eh, naka 18 points pa rin. But that's a very non-strategic technique in games. Also see Rap Aguilar right now on the floor, starting for GERFLOR.
Also, Ethan Arce, fielded in by Coach Edgar Baroga. A push, free ball for the GERFLOR defenders. Bertolano this time. Good read by Marciano. Perez back set, off the block. And this one will be a free ball again.
It's still good, and that was a good save by Bang Pineda.
Angeles
Ooh,
to Navarro. And that gives GERFLOR the point.
well, itong si Bang Pineda failed to move back dahil nandun siya sa starting position when defending a quick attack. Failing to man the sidelines as Janine Navarro gets another point. That is her third already, tying the output of Musa and Bertolano.
Good serve from Ivy Perez. Jaja Marciano in the back row. Good dig by Angeles.
But that is not going to be recovered by Angeles. As you mentioned, ganda ng nadepensahan niya kanina. But din Santiago Manaba, the roofing Bertolano. Gano'ng kalakas yung palo, gano'ng kalakas din yung balik.
And now there's a challenge on the floor. Talking about that block from Dindin Mela. In their previous game, she had the task to guard Tots Carlos. Now, she's guarding Eliza Bertolano. And she's doing a great job limiting both of these players when facing her at the net.
Din. Alam mo naman natin her height and experience also contribute to her skills in blocking.
Now that was an unsuccessful challenge for the defenders, as it was Bertolano actually who scraped the net in that play.
So Coach Edgar called for this challenge to see if the blockers of AKARI had a net touch. But apparently, it was the spiker Bertolano who touched the net. So the point's going to remain with AKARI as we see Madrigal up to serve.
Still no whistle from our first referee.
Parang 8,000 ulit yung tao, no, dito sa Phil Sports. Parang hindi narinig ni Madrigal. You know, sometimes pag may mga gantong instances, hindi pa pumipito pero ang ganda ng serve. Pag pumito na, minsan parang hindi pumapasok. Pero tignan natin kung yan ba yung mangyayari dito. Sa Madrigal gears up to do another serve.
Good reception from Angeles. And Arce gets that attack to go for GERFLOR.
And this is what you want to see, no? Actually, from both sides, ito yung nangyayari na kahit sinong bunutin, really making an impact and contributing outputs in their respective teams.
Arce also from the UP sports program together with Bertolano, who serves to Marciano. Back set to Dindin. She is checked at the net. Angeles to Aguilar. Perez to Arce. Perez to Arce again, and this time it goes through.
AKARI having great block touches, but the recovery of GERFLOR really enough for them to do a counter-attack courtesy of Arce.
Yes, sir. Eliza Bertolano still at the service line for GERFLOR. Good serve. Aguilar converts on that regalo. GERFLOR now with the 4-1 lead against AKARI. But now let's listen to Rain Tixon for her report.
We keep talking about all these super rookies in the Invitational Conference, but one of the veterans that the GERFLOR defenders can really rely on is Mina Degal. Now, when I asked her earlier today if she was happy with her decision to return back to volleyball after a 3-year hiatus, sabi niya sa akin na napakasaya niya kasi naging buhay na niya ang volleyball. Her experience and dedication shined in the match versus PLDT, where she was scoring in such crucial parts of that third set, highlighting the composure and ability to perform in important situation. So let's go back to enjoying this match, which you can experience better through the Pilipinas Live app. Download and subscribe now for as low as 99 pesos per month. Now back to you, Miguel and Mela.
Great report from Rain. And you know what? Ito si Mina Degal. Aganon pa siya nun. I actually spent 2 years with her in our previous club team. And, you know, her scoring 7 points in the third set against PLDT. Magic bunot. And ang taas ng porsyento. Hindi na ako nagulat kasi she has a lot of championship experience. And also in NU, after nung Dindin era, siya na rin talaga yung main scorer nila. At, speaking of main scorer, itong si Rania Musa, right now is the top scorer for GERFLOR with 4 points as AKARI calls for a timeout to regroup after this point.
One is not able to spike. If you call him, you're gonna set for other one. Okay. Now let them work. She needs to receive there. Okay. I'm asking for B or C, but not ace. Huh? Come on.
Good start from GERFLOR. They have a 4-point lead over AKARI. Similar to how the first set started, Mela, but now it's the GERFLOR defenders on top as Ethan Arce is getting ready to serve.
Right now, this mix of starters for Coach Edgar Baroga in the second set, doing wonders for them. But if you're AKARI, you're going to want to take this point so that Faith Esperos could go at the front line and just do her thing. And that's exactly what's gonna happen here. Oh, sorry, Faith Nisperos was actually in the front line, but she wasn't given, as much sets to score against GERFLOR, and right now she's off to serve.
Faith targets Bertolano. Perez to Aguilar, cross court. Check by Malaluan. Jaja back set to Dindin. Ball still up. Free ball Chargers. Jaja.
Ooh.
Too low for Malaluan.
Again, ayun na naman, no, the digs of the Chargers. Palaging nagiging too tight for Maragino to set up. She did try from that last sequence, pero masyadong naging mababa yung bitaw for Malaluan to keep that ball alive.
Speaking of the digging that you mentioned, Mela, they also gave up 2 regalos already, contributing to 2 points for the GERFLOR defenders. Faith from the back row, and that goes outside.
Errors continue to pile up for the AKARI Chargers as GERFLOR now leads 5 points against AKARI. We will go to the first technical timeout.
Welcome back to the heart of volleyball. Playing in the PVL is surely one of the dreams of many Pinoy volleyball players. At ngayon na nandito na ang mga super rookies natin, sino kaya ang kanilang mga dream matchups dito sa pros? Let's watch this.
Na Ate Tots. Naabutan ko sila sa UP noon. Seniors ko sila. Masaya po na makalaban sila sa court ng iba naman na yung dinadala namin yung pangalan.
Fan Arce really contributing in the time that she was fielded in by Coach Edgar Baroga. You see her on your screens together with Eliza Bertolano, both from UP.
That was interesting. Yung sagot niya, gusto niya makalaban si Tots. Habang the rest of the PVL players gustong iwasan makalaban si Tots. But, it's a different experience playing with and against a certain player. And nonetheless, you learn from both of it.
Jaja to Marciano. Musa with the push. Ooh. Dindin free ball. Ivy want to play. Marciano checked at the net.
And again, the blockings of GERFLOR making the biggest impact for them. And the coverage of AKARI medyo a bit slow on that last sequence. Kaya naman an early double sub for Coach Jorge, hoping na maidikit nila yung puntos dito because they are down by 6 points. And 3 points coming from the errors of AKARI.
Navarro with the serve. Cobb. And that is an overreach by Aguilar.
Great effort from Cobb para sabayan yung bola na yun. And then overreach, as you mentioned, will be called against GERFLOR. Pero nandun pa rin no, yung pagiging tight ng kanilang mga receive at depensa. And they really have to take care of this because their setters are medyo shorter compared to the other setters of the league. And this error from Malaluan isn't gonna help AKARI build momentum.
6-point lead for GERFLOR now. Rap Aguilar at the service line. Also inserted here in the second set. Cobb, back set to Soyud. And just like that, instant offense again from Ellie Soyud, scoring for AKARI.
This is such a good problem for Coach Jorge, having Dindin and Ellie Soyud be shuffled as the opposite. Equally talented, talaga naman kung sino lang yung mas may impact in a certain game stays longer, but nonetheless both starter material.
Faith from the back row. Checked. Bang, back set to Marciano. Ivy. Oh, what a tip by Musa.
Great acknowledgement from Perez. Sumabay
Yun advantage mo, malaki ka. Maximize mo yung ano mo dyan. Ha? Yan ang magagawa mo dyan.
Start tayo sa magandang
Okay.
pasa, ha?
Magkabilang dulo advantage. Magkabilang dulo advantage. Ngayon, nasa gitna ka. Hindi ka gitna ka. Ibig sabihin, ikaw ang papalo sa quick yan. Okay, dulo ka lang.
Okay.
Sarado rito. Ano ka rin?
Kumpiyansa ka pumasa, ha? Let's go! Go! GERFLOR! Defender! Kumpiyansa ka?
Julia Angeles on your screens right now. The libero of the GERFLOR defenders. Michelle Cobb and Madrigal together with Bang on the other side of the court. Soyud getting ready to serve. She has played so well so far. And syempre, nausog yata as that service goes outside.
a lot of errors piling up from the side of AKARI, but you have to highlight how Ellie Soyd have scored from all scoring departments already. Block, atake, pati na rin service ace, but they gotta do more, especially they're playing catch-up here in the second set.
Cobb to the running Madrigal, checked on the way out by Musa.
No, Madrigal was a bit underneath that ball, and good thing hindi libero yung nakapwesto doon. Nagkaroon pa rin ng touch from Rania Musa. Naman medyo nakaiga na siya. And that ball was sailing out, but miscalculated by Musa.
Aguilar keeps the ball up. Bertolano still able to spike it.
And that's what you gotta love about Alyssa Bertolano. Hindi namimili ng set. It was actually an offset, pero sinabayan niya. And look at the approach. Full swing, great elevation. Ganda rin ng target. Not even Bang Pineda could get to that targeted area by Bertolano.
Ivy Perez now serving for GERFLOR. Pineda, over reception again. Bertolano will send this one over. Marciano from the back row finds a hole. Ivy Perez with a good save. Faith. Good dig by Angeles. Bertolano scrapes the net and sails out.
That was such a good idea dahil playing transition ito si Faith Nesperos, stick, attack, and ganda ng target sana ni Bertolano as we see that Ivy Perez pancake, pero tatama sa net. So sobra itong huling atake ni Bertolano.
Madrigal serving. Ready with 3 points on one service ace. Arce unable to get that one to go. Soyud from the back. Bertolano keeps it up. This will be a free ball. Marciano over reception and Malaluan unable to handle that one.
You know, we see a lot of tight passes from the AKARI Chargers, whether it's from chance balls, galing atake, galing drop balls. So they gotta work on that. At least it's an identified problem. But on the side of GERFLOR, like we said, living up to their moniker. Ang ganda naman ng ball control nitong ni Angeles. Talagang hatid na hatid.
Keeps the ball up. Bertolano, however, unable to get there.
Still a good touch from Angeles, but itong si Bertolano won't be able to save that second ball. Just look at the area covered by Angeles from zone 5 to zone 6. Parang gusto niya siya rin yung kukuha ng second ball. Great showing from GERFLOR defenders. They're still up by 2 here.
Perez set, and that is a net touch called on Arce.
Arce saying hindi siya yung net.
But it was a lift. First, the referee changing the call to a lifting violation on Arce. Cobb still serving for AKARI. Good reception from Bertolano. Aguilar, cross court. Checked by Malaluan. Cobb, back set. This will be a free ball for GERFLOR. Arce again. Good read by Cobb. And Faith is checked at the net. Faith will try again. This time, unable to go over the net.
Nagiging matagal yung balikan dito sa GERFLOR at AKARI, and it seems like, you know, yung attempts ni Faith na apektuhan din. Especially, siya rin yung din na-target nitong GERFLOR.
Ethan Arce now serving, which means Musa is in front for GERFLOR. Cobb, kneeling, back set. Ivy, back set. And this time, it's Navarro's turn to score for the defenders.
Elisoyod mapapailing dahil medyo malaki yung gap between Malaluan and her. Just look at that. Big opening for Janine Navarro.
Right at the middle. Pinagitnaan talaga eh. And now Arce is still at the service line serving. Good serve. Cobb to Soyod, who is checked at the net. Ivy to Aguilar. Checked. Soyod will send this one over. Good set from Bertolano. And that goes in for Aguilar.
You gotta see a replay of that last Aguilar hit. And it seems like she was playing it. That wasn't the usual textbook approach, but it's gonna work for her as they go to the second technical timeout, 16-12.
Service line. GERFLOR is up 16-12. Good dig. Ball is still up. Marciano sends this to Soyud. Cross court, and that sails out.
You know what? This is really the embodiment of defenders. GERFLOR defenders and Ivy Perez have been digging din Santiago Manabat since the start of the first set. At ngayon naman, itong si Faith Nesperos madedepensahan and they're gonna get that point. Defense really paying off for GERFLOR.
Cobb chases to Soyud, and this time it goes through the block.
Eli Soyud powering through. He's keeping up in terms of scoring after just being fielded in the previous rotation. She now has 5 points next to Nesperos 9. On the other hand, Navarro naman, 3 points already in set number 2. So she's gonna have more output than Musa, 5-4.
Wow! What a hit from Lut Malaluan.
Garda Malaluan, 2 points already. Trying to rally her team here. They are down by 3 points. Hindi siya masyado nakakuha ng mga successful sets. So she's gonna take matter into her own hands with that regalo.
Nesperos, only 1 point in the second set so far. And that error, another service error from her, puts GERFLOR up by 4 points. Esguerra, Navarro rather, now lined up to serve for GERFLOR.
Navarro with 5 points like we mentioned. And look, Garda.
Ivy, this will be a free ball from Aguilar. Cobb goes to Marciano, drop ball. Ivy Perez to Aguilar again, her turn to drop.
That last second change of decision from Soyud is gonna pay off. Kanina nadidig siya, na-check siya sa ibabaw with the good blockings displayed by GERFLOR. So that last second before that tip talagang made the difference for her to get a point. As we see Emnas and Marzan who did well in that rotation na pinasok sila kanina nung first set. Tingnan natin if they're gonna have the same impact here today, but with different result as they are 7 points away from getting this second set.
Malaluan up to serve for the Chargers. It's Marzan and Musa in the front line for GERFLOR. Emnas chooses Musa.
Ooh.
Good up by Malaluan. Good dig by Angeles. Aguilar down the line.
Aguilar almost hitting Coach Jorge. But you gotta give it to Angeles. Nakita mo yung effort niya talaga from the sideline, really manning hanggang dun sa zone 6 and upping that ball well. But they're having problems right now with their counter-attack when Bertolano is at the back line. And she's also going to be targeted in the serve. And don't look now, it's just a 1-point ball game. AKARI trying to catch up here, down by 1 point. Garda Malaluan, 3 points already and trying to contribute as much difference as she can as GERFLOR calls for a timeout. Break your service.
What I want now, since the kids starting here, the guys will throw the ball long.
Kailangan natin makaside out.
Let's go.
Kung natin pa, paunahin. Pasukan ninyo. Pare, diskarte ka. Wait, smile. Ayan.
Let's go!
Dagdagan niyan.
GERFLOR! Defender! Huli natin to!
GERFLOR still with the lead. Eliza Bertolano giving up a service ace. As we look at our player matchup for this morning, Bertolano already with 4 points. Nesperos with 9. We have a long game to go. Expect more points from both of these players. Malaluan serves straight to the net, extending the GERFLOR lead to 2.
That was a great timeout by Coach Edgar Baroga. It did its purpose to ice the server.
And that's another overreaching violation on GERFLOR. That's their second.
Alam mo, nabanggit natin how tight the passing of AKARI has been in this game. And when it's Maraguinot in the front line, hindi niya maagaw eh. But when it's Cobb, mas nagiging advantage pa nga kasi medyo mataas din yung reach ni Michelle Cobb. So, napapasabay niya yung blockers ng kabila, forcing them to commit those overreaching errors. But right now, Coach Jorge is gonna give the opportunity back to Manabat and Maraguinot to seal this set number 2. They're still down by 1 point. They're gonna maximize this full front lineup for the Chargers.
Maraguinot with a serve. Targeting Bertolano again. Cross court by Bertolano. Too much to handle for Pineda. And they have another 2-point lead. Musa this time will be serving, which means it will be Bertolano, Navarro, and Arce in front for the defenders.
That's actually Marzan. Dahil nag-double
Oh, right.
sub sila with Emnas. But it's good to see na itong si Bertolano natututo din talaga siya. Kanina, she tried that deep cross court, sumabit sa net, di successful. She tried it again nung nakaikot siya sa harap and it worked for her. But another thing that's working is din Santiago Manabat back on the court, scoring AKARI's 19th point here in the second set. Now we have this very tall front line for AKARI.
Maraguinot back set. And that's a double.
Errors of AKARI really aren't helping. In the first set, they had 8. Right now, I think they have around 5 errors. Pero nakapagpondo kasi ng puntos itong AKARI kanina nung first set. So even when they had more errors, they could afford it. But right now, they're down by 2 points in the second set. And those errors, mind me, the errors pala of AKARI are already at 10 errors compared to 7 of GERFLOR.
Maraguinot to Manabat again. Bertolano blocks Manabat at the net.
Eliza Bertolano really playing yet another amazing game. And what a fulfillment blocking a 6-footer in Dindin Manabat.
Single block. It was a single block on Manabat right there.
Kaya naman mapapa-time out si Coach Jorge to see and regroup how they could turn things around against GERFLOR.
Oversize ang kasama natin. Trabaho lang, trabaho. Huwag tayo aasal doon sa 1 lang. After the follow cover. Tapos tuloy ulit. Kaya tulong-tulong tayo. Kaya nabigyan ng goal.
Spikers pa rin sila.
Hey, AKARI! Chargers!
Coach Jorge was forced to call that timeout as GERFLOR is slowly inching to taking the second set from the Chargers. Interesting to note also that during that timeout, Coach Jorge was on the side with Jaja Maraguinot, giving her specific instructions, maybe on the plays that they're going to run to try to make one last stand against the defenders. Ivy to serve. Jaja will set this one to Faith. Ball is still up, and however, GERFLOR unable to send this one over, giving AKARI the point.
That was a great effort from Rap Aguilar, almost recovering that and turning it into a rally. But Faith Nesperos, who clearly struggled here in the second set compared to her amazing first set, will score her 10th point after that hit.
Madrigal to serve.
And that's when you know height is might.
Just a 1-point game now for AKARI, 2 straight points. after that timeout called by Coach Jorge.
We saw that good third set with the GERFLOR against PLDT in their last game, but their problem was really on the closing out part. So let's see if they learn from that and would manage to close things out here in the second set. But Janine Navarro mistimed that last set, tying things off with AKARI, 22-all here in the second set.
That's 3 straight points now for the Chargers. Madrigal still at the service line. However, that goes straight to the net. Costly error from Madrigal in that play.
You know, in that set number 1 win, you know that it was really the attacks of AKARI that gave them that win. But here in the second set, the errors of both teams are really making this whole set number 2. 11 errors already for AKARI, 7, make that 8 for GERFLOR.
Nesperos.
Alam mo, dito na yung intimidation factor papasok sa mga atake ni Faith. Makikita mong naiilang siya pag nadidig siya, kapag napa-block check siya. So,
and she really slowed down here in the second set. Only 2 points for Faith after scoring 8 in the first set. But then Bertolano has found her groove. Ooh. That malaluan attack goes outside. And just like how they started the set, AKARI ends the second set with their error, giving GERFLOR the set 25-22.
But if you're Coach Jorge, you want to polish things off. Dahil yung mananalo dito sa match between GERFLOR and AKARI, will have the chance to battle it off for 9th place. So we're gonna find out who gets the rest of the sets here in this match as we return.
The new streaming experiences also await via the Pilipinas Live app. Download and subscribe now for as low as 99 pesos per month. We are tied at 1 set apiece, 25-20, 25-22. It's a tight one between these two winless teams so far as we watch the highlights from the just concluded second set. Good showing from the defenders, while the AKARI Chargers had a hard time with their floor defense, giving their setters tight sets to execute, leading to points for the GERFLOR defender.
Miguel, you mentioned, no, battle for first win ang nangyayari between GERFLOR and AKARI. Kaya naman itong GERFLOR really put up a good fight and remain consistent in that second set. As we see, down pa rin sila ng isa in terms of attacks. But again, the blocking's making a difference for them. Plus the errors of the AKARI Chargers, helping them a lot to gain momentum. And you know, if you're AKARI, you wouldn't want to rely solely on Faith Nesperos. Dahil kapag off siya, it seems like yung buong team nagsistruggle eh. So during the times na she's off, the others have to step up the same way na itong si Navarro also stepped up in that second set to supplement the efforts of Alyssa Bertolano. So this has become an even more exciting game. Parang sasabay dun sa excitement ng PM games natin, no? And sabi nga natin yung mananalo dito will have the chance to go to the battle for 9th place because we mentioned that after the elimination matches, we're gonna have classification matches kasabay naman nung semifinals this Thursday na yan. So really tight and compressed schedule but a lot of volleyball action here on the Invitational Conference as GERFLOR and AKARI suits up for this third set. Rap Aguilar gonna remain as a starter here in the third set. Hindi na babalik muna si Carmina Digal or even Justin Dorog. But Rap Aguilar has had a lot of contributions also from the back row with her defense.
And speaking of defense, GERFLOR able to limit AKARI to just 10 attack points in that set as compared to the 17 that they gave up in set number 1. Plus, hindi pa nakatulong yung errors ng AKARI in terms of their floor defense. Which is why our game is tied at 1 set apiece.
Definitely the net defense and floor defense of GERFLOR really, making a factor against AKARI. Hindi man nila maipuntos na kill block or, the scoring outputs. It's really forcing AKARI to commit errors. And again, they're gonna start the third set with yet another error. You see the body language also. It's not as chill as the first set. Meanwhile, ito namang GERFLOR clearly enjoying the game.
And credit also to Angeles, who has done a great job in covering the floor for the defenders. However, that time, Marciano was able to get the point for AKARI.
And you mentioned itong si Angeles during the pregame. It was Pia Sarmiento who we featured. So, a lot of great talent on the side of GERFLOR. It's really just a matter of working together. Kaya naman ngayon, itong combination nila in the second set. So far, it's been doing well. Kanina hindi rin natin nabanggit, but Rap Aguilar, single block. Itong si Dindin Santiago Manabat. So yung efforts talaga, wala siya sa height. They're really trying to find their own advantage over the advantage of AKARI. Pero ngayon, yung high contact and the court sense of Dindin Santiago Manabat is gonna work well for the Chargers.
Dindin now at the service line for AKARI after that successful attack. One of the veterans of this AKARI team. Aguilar down the line. Dindin was there. Danny, underhand set to Faith. Back set. Good save from Ravenna. Marciano from the back row. That is too wide. Game is now tied at 2 apiece. Let's listen in to Rain Tixon, who has a report about the game for us.
Trisha Genesis may be struggling in this match today, but her efforts all throughout the conference has helped AKARI stay competitive, especially in the Invitational Conference. Now, getting to where she is now was no easy feat for her. She said she had to stay disciplined all throughout the off-season to put her in the best conditioning in our shortened PVL season. And she did all of this because she wanted to show her team na worth it ang pagkuha sa kanya, and she vows to do all she can given the opportunity. And speaking of opportunity, this is your chance to get Pilipinas Live, our newest streaming platform for all sporting events. Download and subscribe now for as low as 99 pesos per month. Now back to you, Miguel and Mela.
Thank you for that report, Rain. And speaking of Trisha Genesis, hasn't seen much action after the first set because of how Janine Marciano has been playing. Good push from Maraguinot.
Good eye by Jaja Maraguinot. We've been talking about court sense and Jaja Maraguinot, in her high school heydays, talaga namang winning a lot of best setter awards. And just look at that. Very chill inside the court, but she really knows what she's doing. She's had some struggles today, especially with those tight passes, but trying to make up for that in this third set. They're up by 2 points.
Nisperos with a good serve. Aguilar challenges the block. Bertolano sets it up. However, that does not go through for Navarro.
You can see the distance of Janine Navarro from the ball. Kaya naman pag ganon, malayo yung kamay, yung katawan mo dun sa kamay mo at sa bola, mababa yung clearance, and her blockers were really in position to defend her.
AKARI slowly pulling away. They are now up by 3 points against the defenders. Faith with a serve. Targeting Bertolano again. And Musa converts that quick attack for GERFLOR.
So far, a lot of basic plays from GERFLOR, but it has been efficient, no? Itong si Rania Musa has been attacking a lot, and she has 5 points already under her belt.
Navarro with the serve. Jaja to Janine Marciano. And there's a net touch called on GERFLOR. Sayang yun kasi bantay na ni Bertolano yung atake ni Marciano na yun.
That
However,
was actually the cleanest hit
yes,
of Marciano also throughout this game.
Lut Malaluan back at the service line for AKARI. Good serve. Perez to Musa again. Good save. This will be a free ball. Faith to Jaja to Janine. And out. Point goes to GERFLOR. That ball apparently did not cross the net. No challenge
We were waiting for the AKARI coaching staff
to challenge
to
that ball.
challenge, kasi from our view, it seemed like there was a touch from the blockers before it sailed out. But they're gonna get the point back after that Ram Aguilar error.
Our coaches are really keeping the challenges close to them because
Especially tight
they
game na
know how
ngayon,
tight the
1-1
game
eh.
is. Baka kailanganin sa endgame. Jaja. Already with 4 excellent sets here in the second set. Serving. Bertolano. They send this one over. Good save by Faith. Marciano again. Perez to Bertolano. Challenges the block. Check by Dindin and Madrigal again. Good up by Danny. Free ball, GERFLOR. Ivy to the running Musa.
Great connection from Musa and Perez. It doesn't seem like they're a new team at all. Kita mo talaga sa transition how quick everybody moves. Even itong si Alyssa Bertolano has been checked a couple of times, but ang bilis niya transition from defense to attack. But Rania Musa really making that separation from the AKARI blockers.
Manabat scores off the hands of the GERFLOR defenders. And that point brings them
Welcome back to the PVL. Earlier today, we heard from GERFLOR Super Rookies as to who their dream PVL matchup is. And this time around, let's hear from AKARI's Faith Nesperos. Let's watch this.
The player most excited to play against is, of course, Ate Alay. Someone that I've always looked up to, and now I have a chance to go against her. And of course, I think that's the real test of me as a volleyball player, that I'm going against what I've always been calling idol.
back after the first technical timeout. AKARI up by 3. Faith Nesperos on your screens already with 10 points, followed by Santiago Manabat with 7 and Soyud with 6. Marciano serving for Akari. Perez to Bertolano, challenging the block of Manabat and getting the point for GERFLOR.
No, before the first technical timeout, itong si Alyssa Bertolano hindi makalusot doon sa blockers ng Akari and really taking her time to score a point this time around and winning against the taller Madrigal and Manabat combo. Other than her skills improving, you see also her confidence elevating in this game.
Despite having Dindin in front of her. Madrigal now serving for Akari.
4 errors already for Akari and sorry, 2 errors rather here in the third set.
Bertolano.
Ooh,
And that sails outside.
that point is gonna go to Akari, but si Ezra Madrigal muntik ng tamaan nung Bertolano hit na yon. Good thing nakaiwas.
Madrigal serving. Ivy Perez. Combination to Bertolano. We haven't seen much of that. Nesperos sends this one over. Free ball. GERFLOR. Bertolano again. Manabat. Good dig by Aguilar. And GERFLOR gets the point off of that Navarro kill. It's now 7-10.
You know, the storyline for the GERFLOR defenders really been about being patient, no? Kasi tinatsaga nila na maka-block touch, maka-depensa sa floor, and regardless of who's in front, kahit hindi man yan si Alyssa Bertolano, you can rely on the other players as well to finish off the rallies. And kanina napansin ko din, ito kay Rania Musa, na kapag ka magbablock siya, may intention eh. There's block to really get the point, pero may mga block din na masahod niya lang, okay na, bahala na sila kumounter. But these errors, the same way na yung errors kanina ng Akari sa second set, gave a lot of momentum to GERFLOR. Right now, these errors from GERFLOR are giving momentum to the Chargers.
I also noticed that Ivy Perez has been setting it quite low to her middle blockers so far in this set. Let's see if she can adjust that as well, as Manabat is now serving for Akari.
They've been very consistent with their game plan to target Alyssa Bertolano. And again, the errors piling up on the side of the defenders as they give yet another point to Akari, and Coach Edgar will push the emergency button and will regroup with this timeout.
Kita mong dikit na, diskarte ka na, unaw pa. Pwede naman tayo mag-drop ball eh. Naintindihan? Okay, yun ang importante ha. Alam niyo dapat ang ginawa. Medyo, alam mo yung bilis sa loob ng court, ha?
Go, 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 go! Hey! Tara! Okay tayo!
Huminga kayo sa loob, huminga kayo, hinga.
Hey! Jagger! Blender!
It's a 5-point lead for the Akari Chargers, 7-12 against GERFLOR. One set apiece in this closely contested match between both teams who are looking for their first win here in the PVL Invitational Conference. Santiago Manabat still at the service line for Akari. In front, it will be Malaluan and Nesperos. And Marciano at the wings. Good reception by Bertolano. Aguilar drops it and finds a hole behind Maraginot and Malaluan.
We see Coach Edgar Baroga very proud here in the sideline, smiling at Rap Aguilar. Kanina, an error was called against her, but she got a few instructions from that timeout. And Rap Aguilar adjusting really gives joy to, you know, coaches like Coach Edgar na they're really doing their part, responding to those timeouts and instructions.
Faith cross court.
Nisperos,
Now with 11 points.
11 points already, but also changing her game. Right now, long ball na yung ginagawa niyang diskarte. Kasi tingnan mo naman yung block reach ng kanyang mga blockers. Talking about Navarro and Musa, who's also a bit, you know, iba yung blockers na sanay na magkasama through the years. Especially, itong dalawang to has played together since college and in their previous club teams.
And this time, Musa able to push that one to the hands of Marciano for the point.
Still a 4-point lead by Akari, but Musa is gonna continue to do damage on the side of GERFLOR. That was already her 7th point, tying things off with Eliza Bertolano.
Pineda with the reception, Maraguinot, 1-2 play. Perez spikes it to the other side. Esguerra this time, and that is converted into a point for GERFLOR.
Talagang iba yung gana ng GERFLOR ngayon, especially because that second set win was actually their first ever set win here in the PVL since they joined. So ngayon, they're really, you know, playing to win, and you see the efforts of the players and really responding well to Coach Edgar Baroga. Kanina, narinig natin sa timeout, sabi niya kay Ivy Perez, kaliwete ka, malaki kayo ng advantage mo, at ginamit yan ni Perez.
That's a net touch on Ivy Perez. Speaking of Ivy Perez.
Majijinx. Pero again, nabanggit din natin no, yung struggle sa setters, matangkad ka man o maliit ka, but you know, balancing to really catch the ball before it reaches the net. It's always a struggle for setters.
Perez to Musa.
Rania Musa really playing on a different level right now. Parang hindi nawala sa volleyball scene ng ilang taon.
Ready with 8 points now as she connects with Ivy Perez. Good serve from Aguilar. Maraguinot to Madrigal. Ooh, what a save!
Angel has really been all over the floor for Akari as Faith Nisperos will have a foot fault from that last attempt. Alam mo kung gaano umaangat yung confidence ni Musa at Bertolano. Bumababa naman dito sa side nila ni Nisperos. Very odd characteristic as we know. Talagang when it comes to volleyball, when it comes to games, Faith Nisperos will always deliver. But here in the pros, she's relatively young.
Didn't pushes it. Bertolano this time cross court. Bang was there. Perez to Musa again. Good up by Faith. This will be a free ball for GERFLOR. Let's see who Ivy Perez will go to. She takes matters into her own hands and scores on that 1-2 play.
No, Coach Edgar Baroga telling the players where they could get an advantage. Really gives a different perspective to players like Ivy Perez. And a free ball. Ang ganda ng nagiging paluan ito nila Musa, but like you mentioned, Miguel, Ivy Perez taking matters into her own hands.
The receiver is there, huh? Receive that. We need someone that you say, hey, give to me, I will. That's all that you need now. We don't do the best receiver. The receiver is there. So you ask for the setter which ball you want, and then you score. Okay? Agree?
It's just a 1-point lead now for the AKARI Chargers. Eliza Bertolano and the GERFLOR defenders keeping up with AKARI. It's been a defensive show between Bang Pineda and Julia Angeles so far here in the third set. Marciano down the line, and that goes outside. Coach Jorge forced to call a substitution,
Gets the ball touch.
but recalls it since the point was awarded to them.
15 to 13.
A check ball was called. And there will be a challenge.
But before this point, GERFLOR established a 5-1 run. But on the side of AKARI, clearly, they're not as consistent as they are, the attacking department. Not like how they played in set number 1. So, they're gonna need more options, especially Faith is struggling. Din hasn't been converting as much. You saw Eli Soyod almost going in for AKARI. But before that, let's take a look at this block touch challenge as the point was awarded to AKARI, and Coach Edgar Baroga and the team will challenge that call.
Let's look at the challenge. Yes, there was a block touch off the hands of Ivy Perez. Good call by our referees. However, Coach Edgar Baroga will lose a challenge for that unsuccessful challenge. It's now 15-13 in favor of the Chargers. Jaja Maraguinot at the service line. Good reception by Bertolano. Perez to Musa. Perez sends it over.
Ivy Perez had the right intention. But just a bit of problem with the execution as AKARI now leads to 3 points, 16 to 13.
Receive from the back, don't need to do it. Try to do it. So the ball will be only there. Okay? Hey, I'll give you the option now. When you're back, she'll serve cross and the ball. You will be there. It's time to make blocks. Okay, it's time to make blocks. Marcy, you take care of the setter because she'll receive the ball from the back. She will. Okay, you take. If they come quick, you take the setter. The guys take the back. You take the back. You take the guy running. Okay.
The Chocomucho versus Signal game at 4 p.m. via fan stream. So kung ganong ka-intense yung mga laban, ganong ka-intense din ang aming chikahan. So hope you guys could tune in to that. As we see Julia Angeles, 11 excellent receptions. And even the outputs that aren't tallied in that stats, she's really been having such a good afternoon with GERFLOR, digs and receptions-wise. Plus yung presence niya talaga. But, you know, that timeout, I'm not sure if the fans heard it, but dito naririnig namin si Coach Jorge na nilagay niya talaga si Din doon, very intentional. It's time to make blocks. Those are his exact words. And we mentioned how the GERFLOR defenders have been responding well to Coach Jorge, to Coach Edgar rather, and that's exactly what AKARI did with Coach Jorge's instructions after that timeout.
Musa with another successful attack. I think she's the first GERFLOR defender in double digits in this game, or rather 9 points, so far.
Almost, but
Almost.
she made the most points here in the third set. And ang ganda rin na nagiging strategy dito ni Ivy Perez because laging running yung play na binibigay kay Rania. And knowing that it is Marciano would go for the block. So single block na Mariano pa, the smaller blocker compared to Madrigal and Manabat. So she's establishing that advantage as we see
Jinko.
yes, to serve for GERFLOR defenders.
It's a good serve targeting Faith. Jaja back set to Marciano. Perez to Bertolano. And this time, successful over the blockers.
You know what? It's not just Ivy Perez. It's everyone on GERFLOR team really finding an advantage against AKARI Chargers. Tingnan mo yung intention ni Bertolano padaanin ulit kay Marciano. Kasi yung running, hindi niya rin ma-block. Nilipat siya din sa kabila, doon siya nag-block sa opposite side. Very strategic adjustments also from the GERFLOR defenders.
And another point by Ivy Perez, really one of our most offensive-minded setters here in the PVL.
And alam mo, I'm gonna go back to that point where when Coach Edgar really pointed out, malaki ka, kaluwete ka, that's your advantage. Since then, ang daming attempts nitong ni Ivy Perez for attacks of her own.
As we see Permentilla in the game for Faith, who has been the target of the GERFLOR defenders of their attacks.
After scoring 8 points in the first set, she scored 2 points in the second set and 1 point here in the third. But finally, Janine Marciano is gonna get a point. A very clean hit at that.
And GERFLOR able to adjust to the attacks of Faith. So far in this game, Marciano over reception, and that turns out to be a regalo for Madrigal. 2-point run for AKARI.
Madrigal scoring her 4th point, already a point more than what she produced against Creamline. But they're gonna need more of that today, especially because the middles of GERFLOR, especially Musa, had been doing a lot of damage against AKARI. Kailangan sumabay.
Permentilla has checked at the net. Perez to the middle. Arce unable to get that point. Manabat pushes. Perez to Arce again. Off-time attack.
Great effort from the AKARI Chargers. You see Ravenna in for Bang Pineda, and she's doing her job well.
So there's a challenge on the floor by the coaching staff of GERFLOR. No, this will be a crucial challenge for the defenders, as AKARI is already in the 20s.
Well, AKARI and Coach Edgar and GERFLOR lost the first challenge earlier. So if this is unsuccessful, they won't have any more. But it seems like that point is gonna go to them with this successful challenge. They have one more challenge left.
So now it's 17-19. With Ivy Perez serving for the GERFLOR defenders. Ivy has Bertolano, Navarro, and Arce in front. Jaja has Madrigal and Manabat. Santiago, who on cue scores for AKARI.
A great set from Maraguinot also, leaving Dindin with just one blocker. And yun din yung kailangan nila, yung confidence sa atake. Kasi nabanggit nga natin how the body language of Dindin and even Faith Nisperos had a dip after struggling in the second set with their attack. So they need to see yung mga ganitong klaseng attack out from themselves. But the errors again, and a hunt, AKARI. They're still up by 2 points, but we saw how GERFLOR is very patient with the rallies and how they are very capable to turn things around. So AKARI really has to be careful at this point.
Bertolano will target Permentilla. Maraguinot underhand set to Permentilla. Angeles was there. Maraguinot back row to Marciano. And that goes out.
Coach Jorge clearly airing out his frustrations here on the sidelines after that error. Nakailalim doon si Marciano. If you recall, her first point in the first set was actually from a pipe hit, but right now, just really struggling with her attacks. Good check again.
Din again. Ball is up. Good dig by Bertolano. Aguilar, unfortunately, unable to get a clean hit on that ball. Goes straight to the net.
That was a very tough attempt for Aguilar. Kanina medyo sinwerte siya sa no-look spike niya, but this time, with Dindin, you know, defending her on that side, it's not gonna work, but you gotta love the effort of GERFLOR defenders. Kahit mga one-handed save lang nito nila Bertolano, for as long as they really get a touch on those AKARI hits. It's really making a difference for them, but they're still down by 2 points as Cobb prepares to serve.
And she is in the game together with Soyud for that double substitution. Perez, back set. Checked up the net again.
Ooh! Look at Angeles. Isang kamay lang pero maihahatid ng maayos, and defense paying off again for the GERFLOR defenders. Gotta love how Julia Angeles has been playing all throughout this game. Grabe yung dedication and commitment to every ball, to all the rallies.
It's an exciting game so far between these two teams.
Lagi nga sinasabi ng mga coaches, no, yung attempt kasi importante yan eh. Madali kang matalo kung yung attempt wala. Kasi you'll never know eh, masusundot mo ba, mahahawakan mo ba yung bola. You just need to make that choice na mag-attempt kang dumipensa.
And with that net touch violation on Soyud, the game is now tied at 21. This is looking like it's going to be a very long game, Mela.
Well, yung knockout games po natin for semis, mamayang hapon pa, pero this game is turning out to be equally as exciting as the anticipated matches this afternoon. We are tied, one set apiece, and tied at 21 here in the third set. It's a battle for the first win between AKARI and the GERFLOR defenders. Chance ball.
Good defense there from AKARI. Soyud will go cross, and get the point for AKARI.
Ellie Soyud, really playing different this conference. I mean, we've seen her start some conferences, we've seen her off the bench. Right now, she's you know, playing different roles, but every time she's in, it's a different maturity that we see out from her as AKARI calls for a timeout. They are up by 1.
Sa dulo, ha? Ha? Be quick ka, ito ka. Ibig sabihin nyo ng play ninyo. Mag-be quick ka. Bert, asa ka? Backline ka. Ready ka dyan. Back quick ka. Back quick ka. Ha? Kapag pangit, atras na. Ha? Then, gamit sa ulta. Kapag may ano,
Hingi kayo bola, hingi kayo. Super cross. Let's go, girls! Tuloy tayo! GERFLOR! Defender! Tapang pa!
Coach Edgar drawing specific plays for the GERFLOR defenders. As you see on your screens, the coaching staff of the F2 Logistics Cargo Movers, they will be facing the Photon Tornadoes in the next game, where a win will strengthen their hold of that much coveted semi-spot here in the PVL Invitational Conference.
In Pool A, sure na yung cream line in that semi-spot. But in Pool B, until the game after this, wala pang team na secure dahil, you know, a lot of people think that F2 is secure, that does not, but actually they have the most to lose if they lose against Photon, who, as we know, has been building momentum. So really have to play clean today to get that first semifinal slot from Pool B, and the rest will be determined by our PM games.
Good dig from Angeles. Unfortunately, that goes outside. Point for AKARI.
Great read from Marciano. You know, we don't want those errors piling up for any of the teams here in the last stretch of the third set. May manalo man dito, it's best that they produce their points instead of losing points because of errors.
Marciano able to save that one. This will be a free ball for GERFLOR. Perez, 1-2 play. Read well by Permentilla. Perez to Aguilar. And there was a net touch. The game is tied at 23 again, Nela.
Well, alam mo, even before the net touch, advantage na dito yung GERFLOR dahil walang libero sa court and they've been targeting the cross court, making Malaluan get the ball. Kung as we know, hindi naman best in defense yung mga ibang middles natin. But the error of Ram Aguilar in the service line is gonna give AKARI the set point here in the third set.
There will be a double substitution. Jaja now back in the game together with Din Din for Michelle and Ellie Soyot. Jaja will be serving now for AKARI. GERFLOR looking to tie this game and extend this set. Bertolano, Perez, 1-2 play, right at her counterpart, Jaja Maraguinon.
Well, nasa harap na itong si Din Din for height advantage. But so is Ivy Perez, who, as you mentioned, very offensive-minded. So now, talagang hahanap ng advantage versus the other team. You're tied at 24, the first extended set in this game. Ooh.
That cross-court attack by Din Din.
Sabi nga natin, hahanap ng advantage. And Din Din making sure that that ball is directed to Rania Musa the same way that Lut Malaluan was targeted early on.
Now Faith is back in front. She replaces Permentilla.
They need just one more point to get a leverage in this game. And with Manabat and Esperos in front, who scored 18 points in that game against Creamline, let's see if they get to do that. But Bertolano is also in front for GERFLOR. And look at the wonders that she does for her team.
Off-speed attacks working wonders for GERFLOR so far here in the late third set.
Ganda rin ng backswing talaga. Akala mo papaluin eh.
Ivy Perez now at the back line, which means GERFLOR has a full front line in this rotation.
Full front line for both teams. It's gonna boil down on who gets to minimize their errors as Din Din hits it off the hands of the blockers. They have the set point advantage yet again over GERFLOR. Look at Jaja Maraguinon with that opposite set. Saktong-sakto kay Din Din.
And Din Din puts them at set point with Madrigal serving now for the Chargers. Let's see. Hey, that's a service ace, which means AKARI is now up 2-1 against the defenders.
Not the easiest win for AKARI, but nonetheless, they're gonna take the third. Digs and receptions today, but AKARI, like we mentioned, 2 sets up, 27-25. GERFLOR having struggles closing out these kinds of sets, just like that extended set against PLDT. But let's see if they manage to turn things around again for them in the fourth.
A new streaming experience also awaits via the Pilipinas Live app. Download now and subscribe for as low as 99 pesos per month. Once again, that is the Pilipinas Live app. It's available on both the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. As we see the highlights from the just concluded third set. A closely contested, extended third set, which puts AKARI on top 2-1 against GERFLOR in this game.
Very excited to see the set stats to really know what made the difference for AKARI, but definitely the composure was there. Very in contrast to how they struggled in the second set. Yung kapit, nakita mo talaga. And here we take a look at very ironic that GERFLOR, you know, in the last 3 sets, finally having more attack points than the AKARI Chargers. Pero yung kaninang advantage ng GERFLOR sa blocks, they did not have any of that here in the third set. At dyan naman kukuha ng 2 puntos ang AKARI. And, you know, simply put, GERFLOR really made a lot more errors compared to AKARI. It was a very tight third set going AKARI Chargers' way. Now, the fourth set, how they start is gonna be crucial dahil pagkasabayan nga, kayang-kayang sumabayan ng GERFLOR dito sa AKARI despite having a lot of veterans in their team, no? But tignan natin kung paano sila magsisimula. In this fourth set, we see Makaslang starting for Coach Jorge in this fourth set.
Rich Makaslang was a very big factor at the net against Creamline in their previous match with 3 block points. And now, this will be her first time to be fielded in the match. Ivy Perez and the GERFLOR defenders looking to extend this to a 5th and deciding set. But AKARI Chargers want to wrap this up in 4 sets to take their first win here in the PVL Invitational Conference. It's set 4 between the 2 winless teams seeking win number 1. Let's see the outcome of this set.
You see how hard fought this game is for both teams. Sabi nga natin, both winless, but really looking to gain experience against each other.
In Mela, more than the experience, the wins that they rank up here will matter when another pool system takes place in the next PVL conference.
That's right.
So their standings will really matter. As you see the pool B, kita mo naman yung competition
The pool of
doon.
death.
Yes. AKARI serving, they lead 1. Ivy Perez to Navarro. Sneaks that one through the block.
Janine Navarro powering through that Manabat Makaslang combo. Look at how fearless she is. So nice to see Janine Navarro back inside the Taraflex. Parang kailan lang she was competing for a lot of pageants. But right now, back to her true love as you see Makaslang scoring as she gets back on court. She did not play the first 3 sets, but making an impact early here in the fourth.
Dindin now serving for AKARI. Targeting Bertolano still as Arce's attack is read well by the Chargers. Faith checked at the net again. She has yet to find her rhythm. Perez, this will be a free ball. Nope, it will go straight to the net. AKARI is now up 3-1 against GERFLOR. In the meantime, Rain Tixon has a report for us.
Some may call it beginner's luck, but Lai Bertolano's incredible rookie performance was already on display in her time in the UAAP. In her debut season in season 84, she was the top 10 scorer in both the rookies and the regular season. Here in the PVL, she clearly added to to her arsenal, becoming the second best receiver, topping even veteran liberos. Now, when I asked her what prompted the change in play style, she told me that compared to her collegiate career, where she was looking to score, Laya is committed to helping her team in any way she can. And she said that even if it means diving for balls left and right, she will do just that. Let's go back to this match, which you can experience better through the Pilipinas Live app. Download and subscribe now for as low as 99 pesos per month. Now back to you, Miguel and Mela.
Thank you so much for that report, Rain. Dindin Manabat still at the service line. However, that sails outside.
Si Coach Jorge talagang napa-jaw drop dito sa gilid after that overcalculated service from Dindin Manabat. AKARI is still up by 2 points here. Like we mentioned, how they start really make the difference in this game for any of the teams. Dahil so far wala pang nakahabol at nakapag-change ng momentum at nakapagpanalo through that fashion here in this game.
It's really the team with the better start so far.
They have to adapt to that trend so far in this game. And if you're AKARI, you're really gonna want to secure this win dahil syempre on paper your team has been together more versus the new team in GERFLOR. Plus you have players like Faith Esperos, Dindin Santiago Manabat, veteran Bang Pineda. So, you know, when it comes to pride as well, they should integrate that into how they play today. Kasi kaya nila makipagsabayan if they really, you know, play with much more chemistry. Don't look now. We are tied at 4 with Arce survey. And Faith Esperos getting blocked again by Musa and Navarro.
Faith has been checked by the GERFLOR defenders. And that error by Dindin Manabat gives GERFLOR the lead, 5-4.
Ito yung sinasabi natin na yung errors na ganito, hindi na siya dapat nakikita sa mga veterans. And I'm saying that not because that's the first time it happened. We've seen it happen a lot in this game alone from veterans mismo.
Arce with a serve. Good reception by Bang. But makaslang.
He did mention how
Strong spike straight to the net, however.
the lineup of AKARI kaya mong isabay dun sa mga, you know, the mga more veteran teams natin. But again, it's really the maturity. They need that. Dahil yung mga errors nga kagaya nung nangyari kanina. Plus yung mga ganitong miscommunication on the height of the set. At yung mismong connection in general. They really have to polish that.
Because on paper, like you were saying, they have all these big names, both new and old. However, it's not translating into wins so far. And just like that, GERFLOR already with a 3-point lead. 7-4, Coach Jorge is forced to call a timeout.
Genesis. B, B, C. It's okay. Okay, you can do it. 4-2, now it's 5-0. 5, it's just 7 doing 5, break 5. Let's say this is supposed to 5. Good jump. Okay, but also, I think I have to do B. Open movement for you. And you can see this part that the guys need to do.
Walang bibitaw kayo!
Once again, in that timeout, you will see Coach Jorge talking to Jaja one-on-one. You know, based on experience, we know that Coach Jorge is really particular with the types of plays that his players run. And, you know, having this constant communication with the setter ensures that hopefully they can execute these plays to cut down the lead and come up with a win here in set number 4. Arce now serving. It's been great off the bench so far for GERFLOR ever since she was inserted. Faith finally scores on that drop shot.
So far, the points of Faith Esperos have been coming from these off-speed hits, the tips and trying to pick up her confidence, which she lost along the way in this game. The first set really exploded with 8 points, and then things got slow for her. But right now, she's currently the second top scorer next to Dindin with 14 points, who really carried the team in that third set.
What a play by Musa and Ivy Perez on that sequence. That attack puts them up 8-5. It's a 3-point lead for the GERFLOR defenders after starting slow in this set. Let's see if they can maintain their momentum and extend this to a 5th and deciding set. Rap Aguilar so far with 23% attack efficiency. Great off the bench for Coach Ed Baroga. Been a big factor so far in the run by the GERFLOR defenders.
Ganda ng bunot dito kay Rap Aguilar, and you know, more than the skills, it's really the energy that she brings. Always ready for defense and offense, pero the reactions after, very light, very fun, and nahahawa yung mga teammates niya. That's why when you check them out, talagang ang gaan lang ng laro nila, as in naglalaro lang talaga sila.
Jaja, tumakas lang. Angeles to Aguilar. Trisha Genesis back in the game as Faith gets a point off that back row attack from Trisha Genesis set.
Faith Nesperos, finally a powerful hit again from her, using the hands of a single blocker.
13 points now for Faith Nesperos. That's 2 points for her so far in this set, after going quiet in sets number 2 and 3. Navarro. Good dig by Dindin. 1-2 play by Jaja. But Ivy was there. Cross-court Aguilar. Genesis. Too much to handle for GERFLOR. And it's just a 1-point game now. 8-7 in favor of the defenders.
This is what they need. People really step up on the side of AKARI. Dahil, you know, throughout this elimination, si Trisha Genesis has actually been playing consistent. Except for this game, where she started with a couple of errors. She was sat down, Marciano came in for her. But right now, they need consistency. And Maragino also stepping up. She saw a lot of points coming from the setter, Ivy Perez. And so she's trying to make some of her own.
Despite the height of Jaja, still able to convert on these spikes at the net. Krich Makaslang now serving for AKARI. The game is now tied. And just like that, the momentum has swung over to the side of the Chargers. Madrigal pushes it to the other side. Genesis, cross-court, and good!
Parang nakapag-muni-muni itong si Trisha Genesis doon sa bench, because right now, it seems like her mind is clear. She knows what she wants to do. Spiking without hesitation. And that's the Trisha Genesis that we know.
A double substitution now for Coach Edgar Baroga. Emnas and Marzan in for Ivy Perez and Navarro. Makaslang serving for AKARI. Trisha Genesis proving to be the spark so far for the Chargers as they are back on top, 8-9. Marzan unable to send this one over. Point goes to Akari.
That was a pretty tough miscommunication between MNAS and Marzan. Tumuloy pa rin sa play itong si Marzan kahit na misreceive na. And it's gonna force Coach Edgar to call for a time.
Tingin kayo sa akin para maintindihan ninyo. You know why? Parang pa kayo tumulong sa loob ng court. Naiangat naman ang bola, hindi naman natin maibigay ng maganda sa isa. Tulungan nyo, pag pumangit ang bigay ng bola, tulungan nyo maibigay ng maganda yung bola. Ngayon, pumangit na ito, pumangit pa ito. Ay, nangyayari sa atin. Tulungan nyo. Ano siya?
Dalawa pa tayo ha. Angat lang natin.
Ano play mo sa kanila? Sige.
Akari up 2 points, 10-8 against GERFLOR. Trisha Genesis and Faith Nesperos coming alive here early in the fourth set. 2 points each for those two spikers. Rich Makaslang still at the service line for Akari. It's been a good run for the Chargers so far. Back set by MNAS.
Again, those miscommunications have been haunting the GERFLOR defenders and the stretch. Well, that was actually a good pass from Rap Aguilar, but it seems like she lingered on that pass. She didn't go for the spike. Ang ganda pa naman sana nung bato ni MNAS. Coming from the opposite side, throwing it back to Rap Aguilar. But now it's already a 3-point lead by Akari after being down when the GERFLOR defenders went to the first technical timeout first.
And Jaja again scoring at the net. That's her second in this set alone. Puts Akari on top 12-8.
Seems like the Akari Chargers are getting their grooves on with the 7-0 run. And everyone really have that intention to contribute, no? Mapa-setter, mapa-open, kahit back row. They really want to take this game.
Din with a good dig. Maraginot to Genesis. Down the line this time, but Bertolano was there. Aguilar cross court. Maraginot 1-2 play. Checked at the net.
Ganda ng abang ni Aguilar doon sa 1-2 play ni Maraginot. Well, you know, hindi niya nakikita dahil nakarap siya sa bola. To take a look at this replay. So yung forma niya palang basang-basa na ni Aguilar, roofing that attempt from Maraginot. Great serve! Targeting Trisha Genesis. Makikita mo, ito sa perfect floater for Rap Aguilar.
Back-to-back points now for the defenders. Same serve. This time, Genesis able to keep the ball in play. Free ball.
Pancake save by Fen MNAS. Keeps the ball rolling.
Ball is still up.
Good.
This will be Angeles to Bertolano, cross court. Good dig by Pineda. And that Nesperos attack finds the line.
Well, ngayon dito bumabawi si Faith sa kanyang mga pipe hits. Kanina when she was in the front line, sabi nga natin gradually picking up her confidence. Drop ball muna. But now, she's been relying a lot on that connection. Built for years with, Jaja Maraginot. Throwing it back to their Ateneo days. Gotta credit that teamwork on the side of Akari.
Jaja now serving. Double quick. Musa checked at the net. This will be a free ball for Akari. Back set to Dindin. But Musa was there. Another chance for Manabat, and this time she executes.
That's the explosive two-time PVL MVP, Dindin Santiago Manabat. That we know. Check the first time, did not give up. And making sure she gets this point on her next attempt. But you have to give it to Musa. Talagang yung paghabol niya, makakuha ng check, andun yung sipag.
Birthday girl Jaja Maraginot serving. Straight to Aguilar. Bertolano will go cross, but Jaja was there.
We have a lot of setters celebrating their birthdays today. I heard Dina Wong as well is playing this afternoon.
Genesis checked at the net and still scores for AKARI.
That time, Trisha Genesis starting us here at the panel. But getting that point successfully as Jaja Maraginot prepares to serve again. They're 1 point away from the second technical timeout, which the first technical timeout was, it was led by the GERFLOR defenders, and what a way for them to turn things around. Marzan is gonna find a way to rally her team as we see Justin Dorog in for Rap Aguilar.
AKARI slowly pulling away now. They lead by 4 against GERFLOR. Musa serving for the defenders. Nesperos, Maraginot, Manabat, check, block, roof.
Great read by Arce. Makikita mo talaga yung posisyon ni Dindin. It was leaning towards cross court. And look at how Arce adjusted to guard that cross court. Great collaboration between Marzan and Arce. Both of them touched that Manabat hit.
Maraginot back set to Genesis this time. Ball is up. Musa chases. This will be a free ball for the Chargers. Maraginot bumps to Manabat. Faith from the back row. Checked. Marzan sends this one over. Manabat again. Down the line this time is good.
Dindin Santiago Manabat firing from all sides. From the opposite and this time from the open. Taking a carry. The second technical.
It's 16-12 in favor of the Chargers. They are now 9 points away from taking their first win here in the Premier Volleyball League Invitational Conference. Let's see if GERFLOR can go on another run to tie this game, take the lead, and maybe take the set even, as they try to extend this to a 5-set game. It's been a good one so far. Both teams really have stepped up. And speaking of stepping up, it has been a Bertolano versus Nesperos show. Bertolano with 9 points, Faith with 14. And as expected, both of these players have carried the offensive load for their team so far in this game. Of course, with the help of their supporting cast that Mela will be running through.
Well, that's right. The super rookies really living up to the hype and expectations out from them. Pero so far for both teams, it's really been a collective effort getting them to this point in the fourth set. 12 points already from Musa, Aguilar with 9, Bertolano with 9. On the other side, Dindin with 16, Faith with 14. And Genesis, kakabalik lang ulit, already has 6 points.
And credit to the setters for really distributing the ball, knowing that it will be Bertolano and Faith who will be checked. However, there was an error on Fen and Mas, giving AKARI the point.
Actually, if you notice here in the PVL, di na uso yung one-man team eh,
Yes.
di ba? Medyo mga a decade ago, ganyan pa yung mga labanan. But right now, like the whole Philippine volleyball program's been improving sa pagbasa, adapting sa mga new techniques. And that is why the more players you engage, the more advantage you get. And that's exactly what we're seeing between GERFLOR and AKARI as we have a football challenge. Right now, AKARI is up by 4 points And this is the first time that this happened na nagkaroon tayo ng swing and momentum as we see this challenge. It's gonna be successful as we see clearly a foot fault from that last sequence.
Trisha Genesis back at the service line for AKARI. Good serve. Good reception from Dorog as well. But Madrigal able to get that point for AKARI off that block at the net.
Finally, the AKARI Chargers finding a solution for that double quick. They only use that occasionally, at least in this game, but puntos pa rin eh. So, you know, it's nice to see that the blockers are really learning as we go. And just look at that, Trisha Genesis, a lot of confidence coming off the bench here in the fourth set. She already has 7 big points, 4 coming from the fourth set alone. And the lead ballooning to 7 points. GERFLOR will call for a timeout.
Nawala tayo eh. Nawala yung sigla ninyo. Kailangan buhayin ninyo. Kahit sino kayo nasa loob. Kailangan natin. Pag nabuhay kayo, balikin lang yung ninyo. Sige, layo pa yan. Layo pa yan. Go, go, go.
Go! GERFLOR!
Coach Ed Baroga forced to call a timeout. AKARI looking to wrap this game up in 4 sets. It's a 14-4 run by the Chargers. Trisha Genesis still at the service line for AKARI. Already with 7 points on 6 attacks and 1 ace. And another good serve targeting Dorog. Emnas to Bertolano, cross court. Danny was there. Faith, cross court is out of bounds. But, you know, everyone in the AKARI side of the court is asking for a challenge. And they will be looking at the block touch at the net. Let's see if they will be successful this time. This is their second challenge.
So far, this is the biggest lead established by AKARI all throughout the game. Credit that to that 14-4 run. Dahil kanina itong ang GERFLOR yung umabante. As we take a look at this challenge video, no block touch. It's gonna be an unsuccessful challenge for Coach Jorge. And Navarro and Perez will go back in for the GERFLOR defenders.
So, full front line now for the defenders.
In a very crucial stretch for them because this is their best chance to really tie things off at hindi masyadong lumayo yung puntos at momentum na ginagawa nitong AKARI.
Ivy Perez already with 9 excellent sets in the game, serving for GERFLOR. Ivy now serving. Straight to Faith.
Targeting Faith Nesperos but you know, it's very strategic also, no, yung pag-target. Kasi they were successful at targeting and crushing the confidence of Faith. She was gradually getting it back with those hits here in the fourth set. But now, siya na naman yung tinarget.
Well, this time they go to Genesis. Maraginot sets it up to Madrigal and she is checked at the net. Keeps the ball alive. Perez back set. And Navarro gets the point for GERFLOR. That's 2 straight points now for the defenders.
Only a single blocker up against Janine Navarro. But look at that save from Dorog. Ganda rin ang habol niya because si Angeles, despite that being her area, she didn't go for it. So it was a great coverage by Dorog as well to keep that ball alive at naka-counter nga itong si Janine Navarro.
Ivy Perez with the serve. Regalo is picked up by Faith. Manabat down the line. Another good dig by Dorog.
Let's not forget Dorog played libero for some of her previous teams. But Din Santiago Manabat won't allow GERFLOR to get that rally and turn it into a GERFLOR point.
Michelle Cobb coming in the game to serve for Madrigal. This is an interesting strategy that coaches have been pulling off their sleeves in this conference.
They have
having two setters
on the floor, but we know that Mitch Cobb, even in her college years, finishes off games with just her serves.
Regalo was read well by Perez. Bertolano down the line, and that sails outside.
Now the problem kicks in again for the GERFLOR defenders. The problem and the struggle to close out sets. They managed to do it in the second set. It was their first one set all throughout this conference. But right now, it's back. The problem na hindi nila masolusyonan so far in since their previous matches.
Bertolano down the line, straight at Cobb.
Well, that was a great way for Bertolano to make up for that error. And, you know, Mitch Cobb defending from Zone 5, that's not a very familiar area for her to defend on. Usually, nasa may Zone 1 eh. So, minsan, yung mga ganitong experiment will pay off sometimes, ano pa rin, needs polishing.
Oh, Madrid. Makas lang, switching hands in midair on that set. And that's a backline. Since Jaja is in the backline.
Again, it's those tight passes that had been making the struggles or giving struggles to the setters of AKARI, and they're gonna call for a timeout here. Let's listen in.
Chances with the third block in this one. Right now, I'm asking you guys, I don't want a perfect ball because you have the big opens now to spike, okay? Wings. The wings are inside. She's on the back. So you have 2 options there and another one from the back. So third the block, just keep the ball alive there and she goes to set. If not here, I have it still there. Okay?
1 to 4, 1 to 4.
Go.
Dapat lang yan, dapat lang yan. Dahan lang.
Coach Jorge not taking any chances. He wants to wrap this game up in 4 sets. Alyssa Bertolano now serving for the GERFLOR defenders. 4 points down as they try to catch up to the AKARI Chargers. 21-17 so far here in the 4th set. Let's see who Bertolano will be targeting this time around. Still Genesis. Faith. Good up by Bertolano. Ball is still up. Perez will send this one over. Free ball. AKARI. Desperos again. And this time she scores off the hands of Bertolano.
Great connection between Nesperos and Maraginot. We've been saying this over and over. Pero yung pagpapabawi din ni Maraginot, of course, you want a very confident Faith Nesperos in your future matches, diba? Hindi naman dito nagtatapos kahit na ito yung last in the eliminations natin. Those of you just tuned in, there are still classification matches for the teams who got eliminated here in the PVL Invitational Conference. But Dorog this time, making an impact in the front line. Ang ganda ng mga naging depensa niya sa likod. But we know her capabilities also as an attacker.
There will be a substitution for Coach Jorge. This time it's Soyud replacing Maraginot. So instead of fielding both of the players at the same time in the double substitution, Coach Jorge fielded in Michelle Cobb first And then now, Soyud for Jaja. Effectively, they have one setter on the court in Michelle Cobb, while Soyud is back in the game for the Chargers.
Four points down itong GERFLOR, while AKARI just needs 3 more points to seal this game and get their first win of the conference. But again, the capabilities of Dorog as a spiker, it's unquestionable. And she's showing a lot of heart and leadership for her team today. If I'm not mistaken, she's the captain, and this is the reason why. Clutch moments, you could count on her.
Service R6.
3 points down for GERFLOR and 3 points needed for AKARI.
Good serve from Arce. And this ends up as a service ace.
So good for Arce. Really just take her time. Makikita mo talaga na she's not rushing to serve, and that is why it resulted to an ace. Taking time to check out her target, have the right contact on the ball.
Another good serve by Arce. Faith is checked at the net. Dorog keeps the ball alive. Bertolano forced to push this one over. Maraginot, can this be 23? Not yet.
That was such a clean and powerful hit from Faith, but it's gonna be overcooked as that ball sails out.
It's a nail biter so far here in the 4th set, 22-21. Both teams not letting up. As we mentioned, they are looking for their first win here in the Invitational Conference.
This is the most interesting set so far, as GERFLOR established a 9-3, make that a 10-3 run after that Musa point. Earlier, it was GERFLOR leading during the first technical timeout, and then came the 7-0 until the 14-4 run of AKARI. But now it's anybody's ball game here in the 4th set.
It's been a game of runs, Mela. Really unpredictable here in the 4th set. Let's see if Arce can keep the momentum in the side of the defenders. Good serve, targeting Genesis. Back set to Dindin. Bertolano was there. Dorog sends this one over. Faith, check. Point goes to the defenders, and they regain the lead.
What a heart being displayed by Rania Musa and company. Everyone's really working well together. Taking things slow, not rushing. And really just doing what they can individually to shine as a group.
This conference has been filled with very exciting 5-setter matches. Will this be another one of those games? Bertolano keeps it up. Dorog chases. And the game is tied at 23. Good hustle from the defenders.
Look at the effort of Captain Justin Dorog. Really getting to that ball dug up by Alyssa Bertolano. And right now, Faith Esperos will go to the back line. She's been checked in the front line, but she made a few points from the back row. So let's see if things will work out well for AKARI.
Dorog. Pineda was there. Marciano cross.
And Angeles not in the right place for that Marciano hit, leaving the sidelines open.
Let's look at that replay again. Maraginot going to Marciano, challenging the blockers, going cross-court. Unfortunately, Angeles unable to handle that spike from Janine.
Great wrist action from Janine Marciano. Her blockers were Navarro and Musa, but able to target that deep cross. And now we are at match point. Dorog.
And this will go into extensions again.
Justin Dorog might just be the magic gunot for this game, usually playing as a starter, but still a quality player even off the bench. Walang lamig-lamig, just really contributing from defense to offense. And right now, Ivy Perez is in the front line. She also had a couple of points earlier. 6 points already for Ivy Perez. Let's see if she makes use of her advantages again in this game as Marciano goes for the spike.
Dorog, regalo. Maraginot, back set to Dindin. Good save. Dorog again, challenges Maraginot. Marciano is checked at the net. Manabat. Perez chases, free ball Chargers. Jaja, Marciano, and off the block puts AKARI at match point.
Big moment for Janine Marciano. And like we mentioned, this is a really good teamwork by the AKARI Chargers. Everyone that Coach Jorge fields in, talagang delivering. Kanina, si Trisha Genesis pinasok. She had some impact on the early stretches, but now it's the veteran Janine Marciano scoring the big point for AKARI. They are now at match point yet again with Bakaslang at the back, preparing to serve.
Look at the focus on the eyes of the GERFLOR defenders. Dorog, Bertolano, and Angeles right in front of us, ready for the serve of Makaslang. Let's see how they receive this. Dorog challenges the block. Faith was there. Maraginot to Marciano. Another good dig by Dorog. Nesperos keeps the ball up. Maraginot, this will be a free ball. This time on the side of the defenders. Perez, 1-2 play. And that ties the game up at 25.
Justin Dorog. All the high praises, signaling puso. Offense to defense. And yung mga nadidepensahan niya, hindi yung madadaling bola ha. Galing sa open block and just look at her transition to offense. But Ivy Perez, you know, when you have two spikers in the front line but has Ivy Perez right there with you, it's not a disadvantage at all. And look at that, the top scorers for GERFLOR already in the front line, while the top scorers of AKARI, talking about Faith and Dindin at the back.
Marciano tries again. Good save by Pineda. This will go over. Ivy Perez, 1-2 play. Jaja to Faith from the back row. Good dig by Esguera. And Bertolano gets the check and the lead for GERFLOR. 26-24 here in the fourth set.
You know what, if the fan stream was covering this game, I would love to see the fan cam on Eliza Bertolano dahil makikita mo yung transition niya from defense to offense the same way that we saw it from Justin Dorog. Walang iniindang pagod kahit na mahaba yung rallies natin today. And a lot of praises and appreciation for these players.
And just like that, we are going to a set 5, ladies and gentlemen. Marciano was roofed. And what way to battle for their first win in the conference than going to a set number 5. Perez blocking Marciano, ending the set. Hang on, folks. We are heading into set number 5 when we return. It's the 5th set. After an extended 4th set, there's a new streaming experience that awaits via the Pilipinas Live app. Download and subscribe now for as low as 99 pesos per month. As you watch the highlights, everyone catch your breath. You're watching the set 4 highlights on your screens right now. Both teams not giving up. AKARI going on a 14-4 run to take the lead initially. And then GERFLOR going on their own 10-3 run and eventually taking control and ending the set with a win, extending this into 5 sets. Definitely unpredictable on who the winner of this game will be. This deserves a 5th and deciding set.
A lot of things happen in that 4th set alone. A lot of storylines to be covered. The emergence of Dorog at yung pagbawi nito ni Liza Bertolano. But let's take a look at the match of the. Let's take a look at the set stats. That's set number 4, 18 attacks going to AKARI, but the blocks finally, which has been the advantage of GERFLOR in this match. Nagamit ulit nila. They even have more aces and was able to reduce their errors to just 5. And you know, those block points coming at the latter part of that set number 4, the crucial part of that, really made the difference for the GERFLOR defenders. And you know what I like about this game and about GERFLOR? Bagong team lang sila. They did not have the same amount of time in terms of preparation, but the trust and yung pagkakilala ni Coach Edgar Baroga sa kanyang mga players are really paying off. Yung tiwala na binibigay niya talagang nagpi-pay off para dito sa GERFLOR defenders. And like we mentioned earlier, right now it's anybody's ball game as we see Justin Dorog on your screens, the hero of set number 4, really embodying the captainship and the leadership role that she has. Look at her signal puso and kapit. As we go to the 5th set on the side of AKARI naman, the veterans are the front line right now, talking about Dindin and Janine Marciano. You want to see a more confident Faith Esperos in this 5th set, as she clearly had hesitations in the previous sets.
Captain Dorog really stepping up for GERFLOR. Let's see if they can keep the momentum after taking that huge set number 4. Jaja Maraguinot now serving for AKARI. It's only up to 15, guys. Don't change your channels because Justin Dorog and Bertolano look to make this quick. Perez.
Angeles really covering a lot of areas in the back line, but Justin Dorog kakapasan yung buwelo for that pipe hit. This point is gonna go to AKARI, but gotta highlight also that dig that Maraguinot had on Liza Bertolano. That was such a powerful hit, single blocker, clean hit from her. So far, kung sino yung nagde-defend ng mas maayos, talagang sa kanila napupunta yung puntos ng mga long rallies. But this time, miscalculation again by Madrigal.
That ties our score at 1 set apiece. And for the 5th set, we'll listen into Rain Teczon, who has a report on the teams for us.
In both the huddles of GERFLOR and AKARI, the head coaches were calling on both setters specifically to lead the charge. For AKARI, Coach Jorge gave specific instructions to Jaja Maraguinot to utilize her spikers, while GERFLOR's Coach Edgar asked Ivy Perez to be more aggressive when given the opportunity. It's obvious that both these squads are playing at such a high level, and that's because these two squads are hungry for their first win of the conference. And don't forget, you can watch the game on the Pilipinas Live app. Download the app and subscribe now for as low as 99 pesos per month. Na back to you, Miguel and Mela.
Thank you so much for that report, Rain. So let's see how Ivy Perez and Jaja Maraguinot can run their offense here in the 5th set. Ball is not over, but GERFLOR will be calling for a challenge.
Well, from our POV, parang hindi tatawid yung palo na yon, but sometimes it's tricky with this block touch challenge. Dahil kahit sumabit sa net, basta nag-touch doon sa forehand, sa forearm ng blocker, gets awarded to that team. So AKARI, if this challenge is unsuccessful, will tie things off at 2-all. This has really been such a roller coaster match for both teams. But look at the body language of the GERFLOR defenders. They're still at it to enjoy and really just play volleyball again that they love. Meanwhile, when you look at the AKARI Chargers, they seem a bit tight and really pressured.
GERFLOR really just playing their hearts out. You see them hustling for every loose ball, every chance ball. And it goes to show that they really want this win. And, you know, this challenge is successful, which is a big break for them.
Si Coach Edgar, kanina medyo inaalat sa mga challenges niya the previous sets, but you know, this challenge being successful at the most important set of this game.
And the coaches were really confident. The moment that the referee called it a net touch, not over, they signaled to call for a challenge, and as we saw, it was successful. However, the game is now tied at 2 apiece after that service error from Bertolano.
Look at the numbers of Bertolano displayed earlier. 12 points already for her.
Marciano back in the game for Trisha Genesis. Overcooks that serve.
Every error committed in this 5th set is gonna matter at the end of the match. Magkikwentahan yung mga coaches dyan kung saan ka ba kinapos at saan ka ba sumobra ng bigay na libreng puntos sa kalaban. And right now, look at the front line for the GERFLOR defenders. Rania Musa, Janine Navarro, and Justin Dorog. 3 impact players for the GERFLOR defenders. But right now, a lot of service errors from both teams have been piling up here in the 5th set. You're tied at 3-all.
Ezra Madrigal now serving for AKARI. 2-all in terms of sets. 3-all in points here in the 5th set. And Dorog breaks that tie, giving GERFLOR a 4-3 lead.
Justin Dorog's approach on the ball, it's really you know, textbook execution, great swing, great elevation, ganda ng backswing, avoiding the blockers, hitting it long where there's no libero, and targeting the MB as a floor defender. Exchange of points here in the 5th set.
Good serve by Navarro. Good reception by Pineda. Manabat. Ball is still up. This will be a free ball if it goes over. Maraginot to Nesperos.
Ooh, that ball did not have enough spin to be inside, but good thing there was a touch on Julia Angeles. Let's take a look at that again. Look, it seemed like it was sailing out. Hindi nahawakan ng maayos ni Faith, but she's gonna take any luck that she can after that ball had a contact with Julia Angeles. As we see Michelle Cobb in and Ellie Soyud hoping to make the same impact they had in the 1st set.
Cobb now serving. Good reception by Bertolano. Musa runs. Pineda digs the ball. Cobb to Nesperos. Checked at the net. Soyud might have gotten away with that one. Perez to Dorog. Good dig by Marciano, and Faith off the block. And Dorog will be clarifying with the first referee regarding that set by Soyud.
Everyone on the side of GERFLOR screaming double, double. But our referee explaining the call to Justin Dorog. They are down by 1 point here. AKARI overtaking the lead. But great defense displayed by both teams.
Cobb. Good serve by Cobb. And that service ace gives them a 2-point lead in this shortened fifth set.
Very ironic targeting. Julia Angeles, who's had a lot of defensive highlights today, from reception to digs.
And that just goes to show the confidence that Michelle Cobb has dating back to her college days. She has been a threat at the service line and even at the net, blocking much taller spikers that she faces.
I remember a game that Michelle Cobb, turned things around when she scored a lot of aces. They were down in that set, but they managed to win that because of her serves.
Ooh, good up by Angeles. Emnas to Dorog. There was a check. Cobb will go to Soyud again. Bertolano goes to Dorog. Off the block and good.
Justin Dorog, 5 points off the bench. And it's not just the points. It's the leadership that she sets. And, she scores during the crucial moments kapag kailangan na talaga nila ng puntos para hindi makalayo yung Akari. And look at that! Back-to-back points for the captain, Justin Dorog. This time around, coming from a service ace against the libero, Bang Pineda.
Justin Dorog really taking over this game so far. Over at the other side of the court, Michelle Cobb showing her composure. The captains have stepped up. And that was a good set to Makaslang. Emnas to Musa. Marciano. Nisperos will send this one over. Emnas will go to Bertolano. Who is roofed by Faith.
Faith Nisperos getting a block point. I think that is her first in this game, but that's such a big point, especially against her opponent, Eliza Bertolano, who we've been building as a premier matchup in this game. Rookie sa rookie, star player sa star player, top scorer sa top scorer.
It's both their first conference here in the PVL. It will be an exciting career to watch for both of these players. Good serve by Permentilla. Emnas one-hand set. Soyud dunks it in.
Eli Soyud. I've seen her career since college. I've been watching her play, and this is the most mature she's been all throughout her volleyball career. Just knowing when to make those points and how to make them. As Akari leads 8-6, there will be no technical timeout, just a change court.
Eli Soyud has been the spark off the bench for Akari. Every time she's called, she is ready. In the first set, in the second set, and now here in the fifth set. The impact that she has on this Akari team may not be the most used player in the team, Mela, but when she's called by Coach Jorge, she knows her role, she knows how to execute, and right now, they hold the 2-point lead because of her.
Ganun na talaga sa pro ngayon, no? Hindi na siya kung first six ka ba, second stringer ka ba, because you all have the same job, to be professional, to play, and to render quality minutes when you're inside. But right now, crunch moments for Kiara Permentilla. Called in to serve and gonna give a 3-point after that error.
Jinko will be back to serve again for Musa. Jinko back in the game as the service specialist. Good serve to Marciano. Cobb back set to Soyud. That tip is too high. Bertolano challenges the block and gets the point for GERFLOR. We are tied at 8 again.
What a game! It seems like they're battling for the semi-slot. But we know both these teams are out for contention. But, right now, they're just really playing quality volleyball for pride And of course, really gain that experience as two new teams. GERFLOR, of course, being one of the newest teams joining the PVL, but not playing like a new one. Eliza Bertolano scoring her 14th point of the game.
That puts GERFLOR in the lead as we watch this replay, which forces Coach Jorge to call a timeout. For Mantilia with a last-minute decision to chase after that ball, unfortunately giving up the point. Now let's listen into this timeout by Coach Jorge.
Hey, short for her. She'll wait, and then you can spike. Huh?
Let's go. Let's go, AKARI! Chargers!
Just remember, all 3 guys in front.
Coach Jorge forced to call timeout as our basketball stars in attendance, Kiefer Ravena together with Dwight Ramos. And of course, a familiar face, the sister of our birthday girl, Joanna Marginot. Kiefer supporting Danny. Dwight Ramos, of course, in attendance for the next game this morning. As Navarro's cross is read well by Cobb. Soyud. Straight to Emnas and gets the point off Fen. Makaslang is at the service line. The game is tied at 9. No one is willing to let this game go. Krich serving. Good reception by Dorog. Emnas underhand set to Bertolano. Checked at the net. Cobb goes to Marciano. Down the line and good.
There's going to be a net violation called on the blockers of GERFLOR. That was a good sign that Marciano had that in her pocket, that very powerful down the line hit as they take over the lead 10-9.
Kanan mo.
Dito ka lang umiyak. Dito ka lang umiyak. Tatay ka dyan. Ha?
C5?
Sige, hindi. Back muna.
Back na para
makakuha siya. Okay, big back, then again. Ha?
Opo.
Ganun lang kasimple. Pag walang receive, diretso na dito tayo. Ha?
Coach Baroga forced to call a timeout after that AKARI run. They now hold the lead 10-9. Makaslang is still at the service line as AKARI leads by 1 here in the 5th set. 5 points away from win number 1 for AKARI. 6 points away for win number 1 for GERFLOR. Makaslang with the serve. Dorog. Good reception. Marzan scores.
There's a lot of plays that Emnas can do whenever Marzan is in front. She serves like the second MB in front since that was also her original position. But, you know, both these teams not giving up without a fight. We are tied at 10-all. It's been an exchange of points between GERFLOR and AKARI. Hanggang ngayon, nahihirapan po kami mamili ng possible player of the game dahil hindi po namin alam kung sinong mananalo. Such a tight game and a lot of players to highlight.
And everyone has stepped up for both teams.
Madrigal coming alive at the most crucial part of the game as we see Maraginot and Manabat come back in for Soyud and Michelle Cobb. They're gonna need the dominance of Dindin Santiago Manabat in attacks because previously she's been checked by smaller blockers. Very ironic, but it goes to show a lot of heart from the GERFLOR defenders. But if you're an AKARI fan, you'd want to see the full potential of Dindin unfolding in this crucial part of the 5th set.
Good serve from Jaja. Dorog from the back row. Good read by Madrigal, and Akari is inching closer to win number 1 with a 2-point lead against GERFLOR.
Back-to-back points for Madrigal. That is her 8th point already. I think that's her highest output all throughout this conference.
Maraginot preparing to serve for the Chargers. Targets Bertolano. And Ivy Perez goes to Arce.
You know, comparing the two teams, it's really GERFLOR who's been utilizing their middles on the side of Akari sa mga regalo at saka sa block bumabawi yung kanilang mga gitna. But in terms of options, mas marami talagang na-activate itong setters ng GERFLOR, whether it's Emnas, whether it's Perez, it's equally balanced. But this jump serve is gonna go outside, but they're gonna try to challenge this one, I believe.
It's a ball in, ball out challenge on that serve by Bertolano. Every point matters. That's why coaches right now aren't taking risks. They are going to maximize the challenges that they are given. This will be the first challenge of the 5th set, if I remember correctly. Both teams convening in the middle of the court, trying to strategize their next move. You see the fire in their eyes, the focus. Coach Jorge and Faith exchanging information. Faith getting specific instructions from Coach Jorge as they try to wrap this game up. And we'll see here on the replay if it's ball in or out. Barely misses the line. And as they say, Mela, volleyball is indeed a game of inches. That serve almost went inside.
This point can be awarded to Akari as they are 3 points away. Still not a safe lead for them. Yung 1-point lead na yan, it's not safe. But they're gonna try to talk things over to secure the next points. Let's listen in.
Kapag walang receipt, bumuwesta ka pa rin dyan, ha? Diretso ka doon.
May cover pa tayo. GERFLOR! Datin yan!
GERFLOR looking to tie this game up, or at least make one last stand to take this game. As the Chargers are up 13-11, Faith Nisperos is back in the game, replacing Chiara Permentilla.
This is the best possible front line that Akari could utilize in this final stretch of the 5th set. You have two of your top scorers there, and Madrigal, who scored the crucial points in the 5th set, also in front.
Dorog gets a check. Ravenna sets it up to Manabat, who sends this one over. Dorog again, off the blockers. And mind you, that was Dindin Santiago, Manabat, and Madrigal, Mela.
You know, when you watch Dorog, she has her way to point eh. Tignan mo talagang pinapadulas niya yung palo. And it's also a good way for her to target Madrigal instead of Dindin Manabat. Parang yung probability of her scoring, tinatansya niya din. Imagine, she did a lot in this game, defense to offense, pero yung mind niya and focus into the game and really having the right choices in her attempts really, makes her such a good leader of this team.
Maraginot, back set to Manabat, checked at the net. Bertolano, back set, unfortunately.
Crucial error for Bertolano, who currently is the top scorer as predicted for GERFLOR. 14 points for her, but that error is gonna take Akari to match point.
A costly error there.
Well, this game isn't over. We've seen a lot of crazy things happen in the PVL.
Madrigal. Serving, match point, Akari. Bertolano. Ooh, ball is still up. Maraginot Sends it to Dindin. Will this be it? No. Perez to Dorog. Cross court. Unfortunately, that sails outside.
There will be a challenge called by Coach Edgar Baroga, but it seems like the players, the line judge, and the AKARI coaches saw that it was out. Magbabaka sakali dito si Coach Edgar Baroga. Sometimes, hindi rin natin alam yung swerte, no, kung kanino kakapit. But if this challenge is unsuccessful, this game is going to go to AKARI as they seal their first win of the conference before heading into the classification matches next week.
Remember, Mela, there was one game in this conference at 14-11.
And it was the challenge
And it
that
was
made
the
the
challenge
difference.
twice in that game. So if you're Coach Edgar Baroga, you really don't want to take chances here. But
Parang malayo.
there was no block touch. And AKARI finally gets their first win here in the PVL Invitational Conference. It was a chess match between Coach Edgar and Coach Jorge. And it was a joy to watch both of these players, both of these teams here in the PVL. Justin Dorog, Eliza Bertolano, Faith Nisperos, Dindin Santiago Manabat, everyone really stepping up in this exciting match to start the first game of our quadruple header today in the PVL Invitational Conference.
Kind of tough for the other games to match. Opener natin, 5-setter agad. And we have a lot more in store for you in our quadruple header today.
And that's our final score. AKARI Chargers coming out on top, 3-2. Relive this game and all PVL games and stories anytime, anywhere on the Pilipinas Live app. Download and subscribe now for as low as 99 pesos per month. Once again, that is the Pilipinas Live app on the Google Play Store and App Store.
Super excited to find out who our player of the game is today, but not a surprise. As we see Faith Nisperos' numbers, top scoring for her team, 18 points today, 17 attacks in 1 block. To think na medyo on-off pa, naging shaky din yung laro ni Faith throughout this game, but managing to score 18 points against the gritty GERFLOR defenders really says a lot about the kind of player Faith Nisperos is and her learning curve, di ba? Alam natin na sa UAP, ang laki ng pangalan na nagawa niya. Here in the pros, nakikisabay, pero ang dami niya pang matututunan and she's taking it well as she wins her first game in the pros with AKARI Chargers. You see the scoreboards in your screen.
And that is it for our first game. The AKARI Chargers are greeting Jaja Maraginot on the court right now. A very happy birthday. AKARI gets win number 1 over GERFLOR defenders. And for this game, a special one because of how AKARI was able to get this game. Up next, it will be the F2 Logistics Cargo Movers going up against the Photon Tornadoes. A win by F2 guarantees a slot in the semifinals. It will be an exciting match, so stick around, watch the game. This has been Miguel de Guzman together with my partner Mela Tunay and Rain Tixon. We thank you, and we hope to catch you live again here in the Premier Volleyball League.
Pablo punches it through.
Halos lahat ng game namin 5 sets, so nakakapagod talaga. Sorry, Ate Angie, na-block kita doon. Siguro ito yung pinakamagandang nilaro namin. Kasi halos lahat kami nag-step up eh. Ayun no, si ate nasa likod ko. Tikim!